wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Sunday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, the show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, gossip, and hot topics. So that's a show for you. Definitely tune in because we got a lot of tea to spill today. I know I've been out for a couple of days. I'm gonna let y'all know in a second why I've been off. But before we get to all of that tea, we got to talk about the latest one. I Know What You Did Last Summer. We got a poster. We got the plot synopsis. We get my thoughts on that. Plus, we got a little more tea on this Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot. Plus, there's some rumors circulating around MCU's Blade. We'll get into that. Plus, I knew this was going to happen the last time we talked about it. So remember when we saw that stupid Avengers chair crap that went on for like 5.5 hours? Well, apparently I said the minute they mentioned Tenoch Huerta Mejia, who, played Namor, that people was going to be like, well, how he get the time back? And where's Jonathan Majors? So, of course, articles popped up about it. People was bitching about it on social media, and we're going to talk about it. So stay tuned for that. Plus, speaking of beefs and drama and things, Cardi B is invited us yet again in the group chat, putting Offset on blast to my he's stalking her. He threatened to unalive her and himself. That he got his girlfriend involved. It's a mess. We got the audio. We're gonna talk about it because Cardi out here, the Libra is Libra-ing. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about Katy Perry's A&R manager got dragged by the Katy Cats because apparently he came out here and was saying that it was his fault that he got Katy Perry to work with Dr. Pugh on this horrible ass 143 album. So we're gonna get into that. Look, not even 5 minutes into the show, I'm already cussing. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Camila Cabello saying that she felt she got in her feelings because y'all was comparing her to Charli XCX when she dropped that "I Love It" song. So we're gonna talk about that. Kelly Clarkson is she's opening up about how there was a lot of you hating ass artists that was going in on her because she got successful with American Idol, and meanwhile y'all went over there and got yourselves a coin at The Voice. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Beyoncé snubbed yet again by the country music people. The hypocrisy of it all. We're going to go into that. Wendy Williams is opening up about where she stands with her son, Lil Kev, in regards to him spending up all her money and getting her caught up in this conservatorship. We didn't get to talk about it because when it dropped, but we're going to talk about Ms. Yolanda Saldívar. And then we also have Matt Bomer saying that he doesn't think that fellow travelers will be made in today's climate based off of the type of administration that we have. And Adore Delano is slamming our current administration because apparently she said that the window was for her to change over her gender to female on all of her paperwork. That window's closed. So now she out here being called a man when she identifies as a woman. So we're going to talk about that. And she's not the first person that went and made this comment. Remember, Hunter Schafer said it a couple of weeks ago. And so now Adore Delano's another one. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. I'm like, who is texting me? Of course I get a bunch of damn texts. Oh, it's a work thing. I ain't working. I'm doing this is my job, right? Yeah. So yes. So definitely drop down. Y'all already know what to do. It's a live show. So hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also be sure to smash the notification bell so that we can know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Also, at the end of the live stream, we'll be putting in timestamps and stuff regarding the topic so that way you don't have to sit through the banter and all the stuff that we do on this here show. So before I get into the show, the reason why Thursday I was just like, I didn't have the energy or the wherewithal to come online and want to do a show. I was like, okay, I need a break or something or another because I've just been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Then Friday, my mother texted me saying that she was on her way to the hospital and then she was feeling hot in her chest and on her side of her face. So I was just like, okay, keep me posted. So then she calls me later on and lets me know that she had a heart attack and didn't know she was having one. So I had to rush to the hospital, which I'm already in the city. So I had to go and all the way out to Suffolk County, which is where she was, and see her in the hospital. There was the person they put her in the room with that I wanted to put a pillow over that lady's head and take her life because she was getting on my damn nerves, screaming for the nurses and all other stuff. Help me. I need to move. I can't. I'm like, ma'am, this I fall and I can't get up banter. I cannot. And I'm in there. My father's there. My cousin was there. My uncle and my grandmother. My uncle actually rushed her to the hospital. My grandmother was in, so they all had left. But then it was just me, my dad, and my cousin that actually came to visit. And we sitting there having a conversation. This lady, I said, "Oh Lord Jesus!" I said, "Look, I'm not a nurse. I don't work in the hospital. I'm not touching you. Like I need her to be quiet." And so she was working my root canal nerve, but and I was just like, you know what? This is why I can't stand hospitals, and it's all of that stuff. Like, and then I'm trying to figure out how to get out of the hospital because hospitals are like a maze and a horror movie. So I'm walking through the emergency room and I'm seeing all these people. Like one person was in the bed, like I'm like, what the hell? It looked like something like you seen your reflection in the mirror and somebody done took your soul. Like something real, like it was something out of a horror movie. I said, I could not work in a hospital. Once upon a time, I actually did work in a hospital. That was actually my first job. But I worked at the hospital for joint disease. That was my bones and joints. I ain't dealing with people that got like, you got things pouring out of your body. Like, I said, I've seen enough horror movies where it's like, if I had to see that for real, I would not. So I was just like, yeah, I need a couple of days. She's doing well. I should let you guys know that. So, now I can concentrate on doing a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm gonna need her to take care of herself because she had just buried her brother, my uncle, a couple of weeks ago, who I think also had like a heart attack and an asthma attack. I said, we're not trying to lose no more people. And I know my grandmother, who is like 90 years old, just turned 90 in November. She ain't trying to bury more of her kids. She already buried like 4 of them and a husband. And she got 7 kids. So the thing is, we're not out here trying to bury like half your damn family and all this other stuff. But anyway, let me turn this somber story around and let's get into some entertainment as I hit my banner. And let's get into our first topic since we're talking about horror. Let's get into this I Know What You Did Last Summer news. So I saw over on Bloody Disgusting that they revealed the poster for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. And it looks like your standard poster. I mean, of course, I'm going to show it to y'all in a minute, but of course, I got to edge y'all a little bit before we get to it, if you haven't seen it already. You know how we do over here. So, Jennifer Caden Robinson, who directed a movie called Do Revenge. I don't know if y'all saw that, but if you have not, if you have Shudder, definitely check it out. I pretty much liked it. But anyway, she directed a brand new. Wait, did she do? Is that the movie? No, I'm thinking. No, you know who directed that movie? That I'm getting it confused with the woman that directed the movie The Substance. That's who directed that movie. It was like a movie called Revenge or something or another. So I'm getting my people mixed up. Anyway, that's not the same film. So Jennifer Caden Robinson is directing a brand new installment of the film, which is bringing the 90s horror genre back to the theaters, and it's coming out this year, so July 18th, 2025. We also have, you already know Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are coming back, but I guess based off the plot, it's kind of letting us know how Ray and Julie actually fit within this whole situation. So they said basically, and here's the thing, it's following the plot of the original movie. So it says, when 5 friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident, they cover up the involvement and make a pact to keep a secret rather than face the consequences. A year later, their past comes back to haunt them, and they're forced to confront a horrifying truth. Someone knows that what they did last summer and is hell-bent on revenge. As one by one, the friends are stalked by the killer, they discover this has happened before, and they turn to 2 survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997 for help. So I can clear this up quickly for y'all, but it'll be a short film. If they go and they run into Julie and Ray and be like, so how did y'all survive Ben Willis? Because I don't know if they'll mention the name. But like, we killed him. You got to kill the killer. Apparently, that's the only way you're going to get out of it. You can't run to the police. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're just going to have to kill the killer. Like they ended up doing in part 2, which it turned out to be Ben Willis and then his son, Will Ben's son, which I was like, that is the stupidest freaking thing. Ben's son. I'm like, oh my God, groundbreaking what y'all did with that. But yeah, here is the poster. It's basically, you see the hook, you see the blood, which literally looks like corn syrup because blood don't drip like that. But yeah, so I'm interested in seeing this movie. I'm gonna go see it only because it's I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's Freddie Prinze Jr. We'll see how much. Um, we'll see how much they have to do in the movie, because basically you're saying you're turning to these people for help in a situation. How do you make that work? Because if it's a whole different killer, a whole different story that doesn't come with any kind of attachment to, I mean, unless it does, any kind of attachment to Julian Ray, it's like, yeah, you can go to them and kind of do like the Anne Heche when you go and you visit her and then well Julie and try to find out information and all this other stuff. And she can give you all the information, but I don't think she's gonna be coming up in there trying to do a Sidney Prescott and like trying to fight alongside y'all with this killer. Like when you're trying to do the whole legacy cast, mashing it with the new cast, there was some sort of connection in a way where you had Sydney involved. So I don't know how they'll make it work for Julian Ray. Because it's like, yeah, you can go and meet up with them unless this is like one of the kids turns out to be one of their children. And they get caught up in a situation similar to what happened to their mother. So unless they do something like that, then I can understand. But in this case, it does feel like, and I know this was Jennifer Love Hewitt's worry, that she doesn't want to be up in this situation being like, I don't want to just a bona fide cameo. Like, you're not just going to have me come up here and just do fan service because you want the legacy fans like myself who grew up on I Know What You Did Last Summer to come see this movie. Whereas I would have seen it anyway because I'm a slasher movie fan. I'm a horror movie fan, so I would have watched it just to see, like, okay, so what is the new story got to tell that's going to be different from when I was a kid and I actually watched the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I still know what you did last summer, which yes was not a good movie, but I did thoroughly enjoy seeing my girl Brandy up in there, and that's the only reason why I like that movie. And of course, I love Jennifer Love Hewitt, but and I love Freddie Prinze Jr. But for the most part, Brandy was the main draw for me to see I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And then we had oh my god, what's the guy's name? The fat one? That they got the dread, they had the dreadlocks and was just looking a hot ass mess. Jack Black, before he was famous. We knew who he was. So yeah, he had a cameo up in that. Well, yeah, it was kind of a cameo because he got killed. But yeah, spoiler alert, 20 something years later, right? But yeah, I enjoyed seeing him up in that. So hopefully this movie doesn't suck. I can't wait to see a trailer and we can take it from there. But one of the things I'm looking forward to, because I'm looking forward to Final Destination Bloodlines. But right now, I need a trailer soon for I Know What You Did Last Summer because it comes out in July and we're about to go into April in like 2 days. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you all excited for a new I Know What You Did Last Summer remake? Well, especially, well, I guess we can call it a legacy sequel of sorts or reboot. I don't know what the hell to call it, quite frankly, because they just keep changing them. Yeah, you bring a legacy characters in it. It's trying to a reboot qual or whatever you want to call it. You know, they always got a new name for something. But yes, I want to hear from y'all. What do you think of this story? Are you excited to see this new I Know What You Did Last Summer, even though you haven't seen a trailer, but you have an idea from the poster and a synopsis of what this movie's going to be. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I guess it's going to be our thing, right? So Palestine has asked for them to be unalived, which is like, who's selling? Wait, what are we talking about? It's asking for who to be unalive. Cleveland's in the building. Um, I saw a picture of Morgan Whalen. Was he always that fat? Or was it because, all that stress, he was, eating the whole damn cornfield? Because I'm like, when I saw that picture, I'm like, damn, he fat. I don't recall him being that big. Well, thank you, Onyx. Sailor Mermaid is in the building. You said the connection should be that one of the kids involved. Yeah, that's why I said, like, it needs to be. I was like, I need this Red Bull. I literally woke up 2 hours ago. Yes, I washed my ass in case y'all was wondering. But I woke up 2 hours ago. So I was like, I need this Red Bull. And thank God I had that in my fridge because I bought it a couple of days ago. And I was trying to think of what would be the most opportune time for me to drink it. And today was the day. Wait, why am I getting so many goddamn messages? I didn't watch. Hold on. When everybody out here thinking Peppermint got married, including me, everybody was like, no, it's on a show called Survival of the Thickest. I'm like, I ain't never heard of that. Nobody told me about that show. But yeah, when it comes down to it, we need to know, like, that needs to be the connection that, okay, if it's one of their children, then it makes more sense to have Julie and Ray be more involved in trying to protect their child from someone who is the killer. And the way the connection is, whoever witnessed it is like, oh, I'm gonna dress up as this killer because it's a similar situation. So it's like PTSD of sorts. So if they can find a way to make it more interesting in that way, I'm here for it, but I'll definitely go to the movies and see it. Okay, so where we going now? All right, Sean. So let's move on and let's talk about Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. So we have some news on what this whole, well, the rumor synopsis. And of course, now they're saying that they're going to have a new Slayer. And Buffy will be involved as, like, she's going to be, like, I guess, more of a guest star. But that'll be interesting. As long as y'all find something to do with her, don't just have her come over here. Like I said, when it comes to these legacy characters, don't just have them showing up to deliver a couple of lines and look pretty and then leave just because you want to bring us nostalgia fans back. Because when y'all had the TV series, y'all wasn't giving us Christy Swanson in every damn episode. You launched it as your own thing. Remember, Chris, for those who don't know, Christy Swanson was in the original movie with Luke Perry, which I just found out. Shout out to Coy Jandreau. I did not know this. So apparently, did y'all know Luke Perry's first name is actually Coy? I did not know that was his actual name, and his middle name is Luke. So I was like, I didn't know that was that. Can you imagine Coy Perry? They'd have been like, that's a little too country. It's like, no, we're not going by that name. But anyway, Luke Perry, it sounds very Hollywood. So it worked for him. And then, of course, two late people. We had Paul Rubens, who was up in that movie, which I loved his character in that film. Well, actually, three. Rutger Hauer, who was the big bad. And then we had Luke Perry. So, like, damn, three of the characters in that movie is dead. Christy Swanson, her career is dead. So that, I guess that makes four. But anyway, so according to TV Line, they said as the Buffy the Vampire Slayer sequel series inches closer to getting a pilot order at Hulu, the continuation is starting to gather its cast. The potential reboot, which likely will find original series lead Sarah Michelle Gellar reprising her titular role as a recurring guest star, it's said to be focused on a new Slayer and the next chapter of the Buffyverse. The new Slayer, TV Line can exclusively report, seems to skew more Willow than Buffy. Per preliminary and subject to change intel, she is a cerebral 16-year-old named Nova, though we're fairly certain that name is just a placeholder, who is very smart and a bit of a loner. Actually, I actually like the name Nova. I think they should keep the show going as, like, give your Slayers bizarre names. Buffy, well, I had a dog named Buffy, actually. A Pomeranian, may she rest in peace. I did name my dog Buffy. That's why I guess, look, I tell you, I am such a fan of this franchise. I had a dog named Buffy. I got a dog now named Xena. Look, I just tend to name my dogs after some of my favorite female icons. So, and she's a Bulldog Shar-Pei mix, so she's a big dog, big, strong dog. So, of course, she had to go with the name Xena. But anyway, so when it comes down to it, I think the name Nova's cute. First of all, weren't they supposed to make a Nova series at Disney Plus? They're not using the damn name, so why not call this new Slayer Nova? And also, I kind of like the idea that would make it the opposite. That the Slayer is not some girl who was a cheerleader that was that came in as self-confident, was very popular in school until she became the Slayer, and then everybody started to hate her because she was out killing vampires. When in fact, and people were looking at her as, okay, now she's the weirdo. So now she gravitated more towards the outsiders because while on the outside she fits the criteria of the popular school kid and all this other stuff, checks all the boxes. Deep down, Buffy was like, that rebel, that regular schmegular girl, but just on the exterior, she checks all the boxes of what it would take to be a popular kid in school. But she was just weird because of the Slayer thing. So I like the idea of flipping it and making it more like her being like Willow during the first season. Because remember, as the show progressed, Willow became more powerful and more confident because she got into witchcraft, and then she came out as a lesbian, and then she did all this stuff. She became confident in her own other way. That nerd stuff kind of just dissipated as she got older and became more of an adult. So to have a Slayer more or less be an awkward, nerdy teenager, very introverted, very quiet. And then she has these powers and then she becomes extroverted. Then I actually think that would be a cool new angle to take with the franchise. So I hope they keep the name Nova. Excuse me. Now they said her buddies, aka those who would be considered the Scoobies in the original series, will include Hugo. Oh, they said an out and proud nerd who comes from money. Wait, so they're saying like he's a out? Oh, I thought they said out and proud nerd, as an out and proud as a homosexual. But I think they're saying he's just But anyway, here's the thing with nerds. When I was growing up, nerd was considered a negative. Now, when you look at it, nerds are cool. It's funny how like in 30 years, since the 90s, um, the tables have turned. Now it's like if you're a nerd, if you're like a dork type kid or a very smart bookworm type, you're considered one of the cool kids. I mean, the nerds are kind of ruling the world, aren't they? The Silicon Valley types. They're your new Bond villains. Hence, the one that owned Tesla. And so they say, yeah, Hugo was an out and proud nerd who comes from money. So I'm thinking that would probably be like the Xander character. And they said, and Gracie, a young expert on vampires who's an acolyte of Gellar's Buffy. So they already know about the vampires and more. Because remember, like when we watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they weren't aware of like all this supernatural stuff that was going on. So I guess now it's like out in the open. And Gracie sounds like that she would be more like the Giles of the series. Where it's like, and then I wonder how that'll work because remember when we were watching the show, it was more like they would hang out in the library and all this stuff. Now it seems like libraries are a little scarce. I mean, yeah, libraries still exist and people go to them in certain situations, but I would really be curious to be like, in this day and age, what would be the kids' new hangout? Everything is social media, everything is computers, everything is high tech. So how will they make this work? Where it was like back in the day, you had to look things up, you had to read it in a book. You have to do all that stuff. So now it's like what is like how to kill this vengeance demon or whatever is the spell now on Google. So that's what I'm curious to see, like how they'll play all this because this will be relatively interesting in my opinion. So yeah, so now they're looking for people to cast for all three roles, and I kind of like this, but I'm hoping like while they do that because these characters sound relatively interesting. Um, what other legacy characters could we bring back? Like I still said, I would love to see Angel. I would love to see Spike. I would love to see Cordelia get her just due because I'm still mad at how Joss Whedon treated her on her season of Angel, where you basically just killed her off while she was technically in real life she was pregnant during her final season, and y'all were trying to find ways around it. So I'm curious enough to see how they work out that whole storyline. Will we actually get to see Xander? I would love to see Willow come back. I did hear something about an evil Giles or something another that they were talking about they were going to have on the show. I don't necessarily know if all that is true, but as all of this stuff is coming out, I'm relatively excited for this new series. I know Sarah has said that the ball has been rolling relatively quickly. They've already set up their offices in Los Angeles. I'm glad they're shooting the show in LA. So, and I'm sure it'll be on a bunch of damn sound stages because LA can use the money right now, especially what happened with the wildfires. So I'm excited to see this new show. I'm hoping that the legacy characters will be utilized a lot more. If we're gonna bring Sarah Michelle Gellar back, I would love to see her. I'm still hellbent on the whole. I want her to be a Giles type character. Like I would love to see a Slayer where she could be more like in a Giles type of role versus just her still hunting vampires. I mean, you can hunt vampires at any age. I don't think that there's a cutoff point. If you still alive and breathing and you got the ability to slay vampires, even if you damn near pushing 50, excuse me, if you have the wherewithal, I say do it. So I ask all of you, based off of this news that you have heard thus far, what do you guys think of this news regarding the story around the characters that they're looking for that are going to appear possibly in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? And this is according to TV Line, so I think they would be pretty legit with their commentary and their overall scoop in regards to this. So I would definitely want to hear from you all. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Next thing can we say, despite being alive, Chrissy Swanson has a mm-hmm. Nerds were cool, but Elon Musk is hurting their image. Well, I don't think Elon Musk was even cool back when he was a kid. I just think he was just an unlikable idiot. And I just think that, a lot of them trying so hard to be like Trump. Trump is one of a kind. Because it's like once his 4 years is done, they're all trying so hard to be like to have that energy and that demeanor. That's why I said Trump is one of a kind. Nobody can duplicate the type of person he is. Mike Johnson, with his fake tan and alleged he be going on Grindr too. He do give me homosexual tease. Closeted homosexual tease. But you got Mike Johnson allegedly on Grindr. Then you had another person that was subscribed. Who was it? That we talked about in the last show that was subscribed to Big Dick Bottoms. They tried to say it was Tim Walls. It was Mike Waltz. It wasn't no damn Tim. Tim Walls, he loves the gays, but he ain't trying to hunch none. He's out here doing his thing, getting everybody all excited for, waking everybody up, going to the purple states, all this other stuff. And I see some of you double agents that be out here trying to throw shade at the Democrats. We could throw shade at the Democrats. We could throw shade at the, that crooked T bastard, Sonny Hostin frame. Hakeem Jeffries, almost forgot his goddamn name. Him, Chuck Schumer, that double agent. So, and the other one, Gavin Newsom, tight ass, who just went and made his campaign chances even worse. He went over there on Bill Maher's show on Friday. I was like, I'm not watching this bullshit. And they're going to sit up here and talk about the Democrats are, snowflakes, whatever the hell he said. I said, you know what? You are another one. You and Fetterman need to just join the human centipede and just attach your face to each other's ass. I don't know whose end is going to go on what, but both of y'all need to kind of go over there because y'all are both turncoats. You're trash. We don't like you. And I can't wait to you bastards get thrown out. And you want to know something for, damn, I almost forgot his name, Gavin Newsom, to be running out here with his mess. To my son's like this one and that one of these Republican extremists. I'm like, sir, you admitting this on TV, you have failed as a daddy. Because I don't know how you run around here got these people, your son, we like these radicalized people that you're inviting on your show to spew propaganda and not even pushing back. He said, hopefully the FCC doesn't hurt this show given it's female-based. Somebody tried to throw some woke mess up in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I don't know if it was something I had said, it was an article I shared, or if it was something I was reading. But I remember, they're going to make Buffy woke. I'm like, have you not watched the past show? Like, what are you talking about? Buffy has always been diverse in regarding the type of subject matter that they have told. Back when you weren't really seeing homosexuals on TV that much, we had two openly gay characters who were written relatively well with Willow and Tara. We've always seen like diverse stories being told. Y'all must have just been watching Buffy beating people up and slaying vampires that you weren't paying attention to a lot of the undertones of the show. Like, I don't understand, like, some people are slow. You got to really explain things to them, but Buffy's always been pretty much progressive. So I don't know what people out here talking about woke this and woke that. I'm like, a lot of you don't even know what the fuck woke means. And I'm tired of having to explain it. And another thing I'm tired of doing is a lot of you clear people taking our stuff, because woke is a term that's meant for black folks. Everything ain't for everybody. And everything ain't for y'all to be invited to. So it's a term that was taken from black people, and y'all have taken that word and you have weaponized it and flipped it and turned it into something else it does not mean. It's like every time I go on the Daily Mail, and I'm sure somebody with busted ass teeth be writing them articles. Every time I see a Rachel Ziegler, woke this, woke, wait, smack, yep. I was about to go and say something nasty. So that's why I'm just like, let me shut up. The movie's not woke. It's terrible. I said, we used to throw shade at Gal, but she's deleting videos of AMC queers making fun of her acting. Fuck her. I've come to the point. I mean, I like Gal Gadot because I was like, She was in Fast and the Furious. She really didn't say much. She was just there to be pretty and, pose and hold up a gun and all that stuff. We didn't really have to pay attention to acting because it's not required. We're not asking you to recite Shakespeare when you do a Fast and the Furious movie. So she was there to serve her purpose. But then when she came off and did that other movie, Wonder Woman, she wasn't that bad. They know how to work her in the first one. And then Batman vs. Superman, she didn't really have much to do. She came in, did her thing, in certain parts. And then, but it was chill. But when it was 1984, I was like, oh my God, this is acting is bad. And then they put her in one of those mystery movies or whatever that she did. Her acting was terrible in that. Then we started to notice in 1984 how bad her acting is. I need you to tell me, where is this stone? I'm like, am I watching Melania Trump act? Like, what is going on? So it was just bad. And then what's irritating me, and I'll probably talk about this more tomorrow when it comes to the box office, because word on the street is Working Man with Jason Statham is actually going to beat Snow White at the box office, which I'm actually excited about because I actually went to go see Working Man on Friday, and it was a good movie. Shout out to Jason Statham. You already know what you're going to get when you go see a Jason Statham movie, which is what I paid for. But I was a little irritated because I'm like, shouldn't you kids be in school getting an education? Why are there a bunch of high schoolers in here watching this movie? They were there with their teacher because they said miss somebody. And I'm looking at this bitch like, why are these kids talking through this whole fucking movie? It was pissing me off. This is one of the reasons why I don't like going to the movies. I'm like, y'all should be in school getting an education. But I didn't realize, apparently on Fridays, kids get half days since when they started doing that. So they all sat in the back. I sat in the middle because I'm like very particular about when I go to the movies where I want to sit. I need to have a center seat in the middle of the theater, so that way I'm in the eye line of the screen. Like literally, I'm very picky on where I sit when I go see a movie. I'm very anal. Oh, excuse me. Another thing, can y'all start cutting down on them damn trailers? Why is trailers now 30 minutes? Like I'm literally sitting, oh my God, another trailer, another trailer, another trailer, another trailer. Like we see all this shit on YouTube. We don't need y'all to be putting 30 damn trailers in a movie. It's annoying. So yeah. What we're not going to do is sit about here and blame Rachel Ziegler for that movie being a flop. And fuck the Platts. Especially the son that decided to go on Instagram and go in on a person that was like, when openly admitted his father flew to New York to scold Rachel Ziegler because she said free Palestine in one of her damn posts. Well, they spent all this money on this movie. First of all, nobody asked for y'all to remake a damn Snow White movie. We didn't ask for this. So just because Disney is morally and creatively bankrupt is our fault? Or is this girl's fault? Like, no. First of all, that dress looked like y'all got that shit from Party City. That wig looked a hot ass mess. I have seen better wigs on Azealia Banks. I was trying to think of her name. I have seen better wigs on Azealia Banks than y'all did in putting on Rachel Ziegler in that damn Snow White movie. The wig was horrible. Them munchkins or whatever the hell they was, the dwarfs looked stupid. There was really no point. And then Gal Gadot, y'all putting her in that movie, I would have rather y'all just ask Charlize Theron to come back and reprise her role as the queen. She already played her in Snow White and the Huntsman. I'd have just called up Charlize. I understand you was in this movie. Let's pretend it's like some MCU type multiverse shit and just put you in this damn movie, how you play the queen again. Y'all thought, oh, let's try to find somebody like a Charlize Theron. First of all, Charlize has an Oscar. What you're not going to do is try to compare her to Gal Gadot. Yeah, they may be tall, then statuesque, and beautiful, but the difference between Gal Gadot and Charlize Theron, Charlize can actually act. So what you're not going to do is just thinking that you're going to put this lady up in this damn movie and then thinking, oh, she's good enough to be in this film. The movie flopping is partially her fault too. And people said they was going to protest it because y'all had this Zionist up in this damn movie. So what you're not going to do is sit up in here and blame Rachel for free Palestine, but then you got gal ass Greenstein, because I'm not even calling that bitch Godot no damn more. Her last name is fucking Greenstein. She another one that and I know a lot of y'all don't like saying this, but this is a lot of what they believe. So apparently, what I think a lot of people don't know is that, yeah, you have a lot of Zionists who are raised in certain places and believe that they run around saying that they're indigenous. You ain't no fucking indigenous. Where you talking about you indigenous at? Maury done determined that's a damn lie. I'm like, God damn, how many messages that I get checking my phone, which I need to lay off of. So yeah, Miss Greenstein running around here, and it's like, yeah, you a part of the problem too. But anyway, let me get off my political soapbox. Uh, what I want a remake of what I want a reboot of True Blood. I don't know. Well, you want to know something? Maybe because I like the first two seasons. After that, it kind of felt like it went downhill. Sidebar: did y'all hear the person that wrote the books, The Vampire Diaries, passed away? I found that out this morning. Shout out to him. And I used to love the Vampire Diaries. First of all, the Vampire Diaries was like a CW equivalent of Twilight, but I enjoyed it because I love. Well, Helena irritated me, but I did love the Salvatore brothers. I wanted to watch. I would look. I would have loved to have seen Paul Wesley and Ian Somerhalder in a sex scene. That was like, I love me some them. And the few times, excuse me, that Paul Wesley has shown up to, I believe, yeah, at a Knicks game at MSG. Oh, the girls go crazy. They love him some Paul Wesley, and he still look good. So, yeah, maybe they could remake True Blood and make it better because after the first two seasons, I mean, I stuck it out. I watched all the shows, but I was relatively disappointed after season two. Since when was a rated R movie allowed even in high school? Or the fact that I guess because they had an adult chaperone that they were allowed to see this movie. Because they always say that you can't watch an R-rated movie without a parent or guardian. So that's the loophole. Exactly. I mean, there was some trailers I was gonna go see. I am gonna go see 28 Years Later, but some of the trailers, and I'm like, I've already seen these. I don't need to watch these again. The MAGA movie critic said she'll go to Broadway. Well, yeah. Here's the thing. I do agree with this. Rachel Zegler will do fairly well on Broadway. Hollywood is a whole different machine. It's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of politics, meaning that you can't express your political beliefs because there's so much money thrown behind certain films that nobody asked y'all to make to begin with. And yeah, there's more money to be made in Hollywood. You can make a good amount of money being an actor. But they want you to be a blank canvas. They want you to be a vessel. They want you to just read whatever's on the script and not have an opinion. Which is why tomorrow I'm gonna save that article about all the celebrities that went in and let have at the Academy for ignoring what happened to the co-director of No Other Land. And I was like, what you gonna do? Unemploy all these people? Because it was like over at least around, I believe, 900 people. So what, you gonna put everybody out of a job? Including Mark Ruffalo and Penelope Cruz and Alfonso Cuarón and a whole bunch of other people? Because they was out here going in on the Academy for not even mentioning the co-director of No Other Land, which is a movie I want to see so bad, but it's like nowhere to be found. I'm like, can I at least buy it off Amazon Prime? Like, I'll go and buy it. I don't care. But I want to see it. And they won't even allow, I guess, us to watch the movie. Oh, you talking about Nicole? Who? Nicole Scherzinger? First of all, oh yeah, I got to talk about that story about her and Robin Anton from Pussycat Dolls. I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. Look, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So I said I'll save that for tomorrow too, because I had that article as well. But I had to figure out how I was gonna put this whole show together. They said you read on. Wait, is that the? I think I know that website because I was like that. Sebastian Cross joined the military and left because he was. Oh, where did he join? Wait, where's he from? You say he joined the military because he was pro. What is that? PS is pro Palestine. I mean, I wouldn't quite as kept the way that things going on in this country. I mean, I support our troops, but I don't support the politics of how they use our American troops and then chew them up and spit them out. Once you're done with them. And how this current administration is treating our U.S. troops. I have a lot of family members who are in the military. My grandfather was in the military. My uncles was in the military. I have a lot of family members, and the way their veterans are being treated now in this country is absolutely disgusting. I'm still mad that the same designer that made the gowns and other costumes from did he? Well, look, Disney probably didn't give him a budget. They probably gave him like $20 to make them damn clothes. So, well, good for them. But they be up on Grindr looking for some sloppy toppy. Why didn't we get a gay porn True Blood? I think we did. Did we? I could have sworn that we got a look. When things be trending, trust and believe the gay adult cinematographer studios be up on it. I'm sure men.com or one of them probably did something in regard. Look, they did one of Justice League where they had Manila Luzon play Wonder Woman. So I do believe that we did get a True Blood spoof. I have to Google schmoogle that. I like Underworld too. And I like Kate Beckinsale. I almost call her Celine, which was her character's name. Still love Underworld. I like the first two. Rise of the Lycans, there was no point of that. Although they wanted to give Lucian a backstory and this whole thing. I love me some Rona Mitro. What happened to her? I mean, she was in a couple of movies. I even like that one that she did when it was basically a zombie-fied version rip-off of Escape from New York. But that's exactly, even down to the fake eye. It was like, I haven't liked that movie. I forget what the name of it was, but I like Rona Mitra. It's like, we haven't seen her anything in a while. Add Jensen Ackles and Misha. Misha is to have so comfortable with his sexuality, he will hold the gay. Well, first of all, he professes love to Dean Winchester in the finale, which I hated. I was like, that's such a cop out. Don't profess your love when you dying. It was like, I would have loved to have seen. Look, I would love to see Misha Collins, Jensen Ackles, and look, they're all about to be in the final season of The Boys. Misha, Jensen, and what's his name? I almost call him Chad Stahelski, who directed the John Wick movies. Jared Padalecki. There's all these damn names. Yeah, they're about to be in the final season of The Boys, which I'm not really a big fan of The Boys, but I've been sticking it out. I'm gonna just stick it out just to see all three of them on the show now. But you said David Hawthorne will be there with open arms. But yeah, Misha basically, Castiel told Dean that he loved him, which we kind of knew those sentences was, but I always thought that was a cop out. Because I know y'all should have played up that gay stuff over there with them. One of them should have been a homosexual over on Supernatural, and Dean would have been the one. I mean, y'all don't think that gay people know how to do physical shit? That's like, you know what is irritating? Because I was watching. I know I'm behind, and I'm gonna get to after this one. I'm gonna get to the rest of the story. There's the show The Challenge. I'm still watching season 40, even though they've already moved on to All Stars. I've been behind on a lot of stuff, so I'm binging. And the irritation for me, and I've been saying this for the longest, like when they go on, what was it? So Derek, who I always thought was a cutie, he was he's basically proving that he's a dark horse, a force to be reckoned with, all this other stuff. And they were like, everybody be underestimating him. Everybody always be trying to vote the gay. And that's the thing that always irritated me about The Challenge. Y'all be so quick to vote out the gay boys, but the girls, y'all don't be fucking with them. So we got my girl Rachel is back on there, who is like in the early seasons of the challenges and all this stuff. But now she's back, a lot older, got a wife, kids, and everything. And she's a force to be reckoned with. She's like the only person left from her era. And I don't even know if she makes it to the finale, but I'm thinking that she probably is, because she's very physical and able, and nobody can take her down in regards to the show. So Derek is up in there. And one of the things I love, he beat Jordan in one of the things. I said he better beat Jordan in this damn thing where they had to like swing off a truck and knock these targets and stuff down. And he was basically just kicking behind and everything. And that's the thing that always irritates me, to get to the point. I'm tired of gays being underestimated. Not all homosexuals do hair, makeup, do drag and all that other stuff. So that's why I've always said, in my mind of minds, I've always had this dream to create a show like the Challenge, but just have LGBTQIA elemental people on it, because I want to show like there needs to be a situation out there where it shows that gay people are just a lot more than the stereotypes that the industry and society likes to put on us. Because it's like, yeah, I could put on a wig and I could pop, dip, and spin, but bitch, I could also get physical. And I'm not talking about just in the bedroom. I can also get up and do crazy challenges and do all this other stuff, swing off off a truck and do like a diving challenge. And we can do physical things too. I don't know why people think that all we good for is just like being a kiki sister to some broad. So I hate that. And then the fact they had to say, like, yeah, the show has always been inclusive with LGBTQ people, blah, 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 blah. But it also goes to show that we can do this stuff too. It's like in 2025, this should not still be a damn conversation. But of course, America being the young country that it is, people are slow. So we got to keep reminding folks. I saw that he did I think it was on the cover of Out magazine. I didn't even read the article. I still get I don't know how Out finds me, but every time I move, and I change my home address, I get Out magazine in the mail. They always find me. I guess I'm on their permanent list, and I have not paid an Out subscription in years, but I still get them in the mail. And I think he's on the cover. I didn't read his cover story, but they told me like he's ready to take over the world and all this. So I think he's trying to move beyond Hallmark movies. But the thing is like Bros was just a little bump in the road. I don't think that he'll be stuck doing Hallmark for the rest of his life. So, but them Hallmark movies, if they pay good money, I would stick with it. Like Garcelle over there with her Lifetime movies. But anyway, since we up in here talking about vampires, let's talk about Blade. So the other day, I saw there was a story that was going around that Blade was in the process of being handed over to Chad Stahelski. Now, Chad Stahelski, for those of you who don't know, I did mention him earlier before we were, during the banter talk, that he's directed all the John Wick movies. So John Wick 1 through 4. I believe he's also set to start. I don't know when he's going to start filming it, but I know he's talking about that he's supposed to be in the throes of working on a Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill. So there was a scooper or somebody who I've never heard of. So we're going to file this under the rumor mill, and I'll just give my overall thoughts on it. But someone called Your Only Hope, which is at YR Only Hope on Twitter, said that he had heard some stuff about Blade, relaying that speculation about John Wick director Chad Stahelski coming on board is incorrect. Now, to address that, me personally, I would love to see Chad Stahelski take on a Blade movie. I believe around the time when he was not set to direct, when he was promoting John Wick 4, because, in addition to Keanu Reeves and stuff out here promoting the movie and everything. We love Keanu over here. I already told y'all that's my Virgo twin. We both share a birthday, September 2nd. So I'll always refer to Keanu Reeves as my Virgo twin. But in regards to the whole situation, Keanu's been out here, and then also Chad Stahelski does like interviews and stuff, and he's very talkative and very excited about. And I always like directors who have an opinion and stuff. Him and Ryan Coogler, they're really good at that. So there was a rumor that he said, not a rumor, he was asked if there was a franchise or whatever, if he was ever to come into the MCU, what movie that would he like to direct? And I think he said that he wanted to do a Blade movie. And I was like, oh my God, that's so perfect, because if you take like Blade and put him in a world where he fights like a John Wick type character, I've always said like, I need a Blade movie that's like John Wick or The Raid. If you could do something like that, speaking of which, Gareth Edwards, who I believe directed those movies, The Raid, that and the second one. I was wondering if we were ever going to get a third. I don't know if we're going to get a third, but I've always thought that, okay, why didn't they ever make a part 3 of that? Because I love the Raid movies. But if you can kind of set Blade in that world where he fights brutal like that, I feel like that would be such a good movie to want to see, because that's what we want. Simple storyline, really cool action set pieces, a lot of crazy martial art fights, and do, that sort of thing. And I know a lot of people say Mahershala Ali is getting up there in age, and yeah, he is. He's in his 50s. But here's the thing. You know how many damn stunt people you can put up in there and have them do like all the difficult fight stuff? You can do like the dots on his face and take, Mahershala's face and put it on a stunt double to make it look like he's doing certain stunts if it's way beyond what he's able to do. But if you want to do like the close-ups of where he can do some of the action, then that would work. But even Wesley Snipes had a stunt double and somebody who was stepping and doing some of his stuff in Blade. It wasn't all just him. He did majority of it, but he had a stunt double and stuff up in there too. If you look real close in certain scenes in the Blade movies, especially the first one, you could definitely see like That wasn't all Wesley Snipes in a lot of those situations. So I know, like, yeah, Wesley Snipes is that dude, but in certain situations, because of insurance and all this other stuff, they're not going to let him get away with the same stuff that they would let a Tom Cruise. Which I don't understand why y'all just be letting Tom Cruise get away with murder. I mean, he had at one point when he did that Mission Impossible movie and he broke his damn foot doing that jump. They had to be out of commission for weeks. So it was like, yeah, let the stunt doubles come in and do all the difficult stuff. But if there's certain things you want to be able to do, then let them do it. So yeah, he basically said that Chad Stahelski is not doing it. So that's a bummer because I would love to have seen Chad Stahelski come in and do the film. But he's got a lot on his plate. In addition to Highlander, I think on his Wikipedia, I mean, like on his it might have been his Wikipedia. He's got like almost 10 projects in the works. And I don't know how he's going to fit all that in because movies take a long time to film and to be a part of. And plus, we're supposed to be getting a John Wick 5, which they already announced a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know how he's going to be able to fit in a Blade movie. But I would have loved for them to be like, okay, well, delay some of these films and let him come in and do a Blade movie. And it would work. But I'm sure there's enough people on that team at 8711. Y'all can get Gareth Edwards to come in and do it, or even though he's not part of the 8711 series, team, have him come in, or maybe the guy who directed the first two Extraction movies. Why not have him do it? Now, I'm sure there's enough stunt people out here who want to get their feet wet in the whole action world, or people who have that experience, and you can have them come in and take care of your movie. Or maybe even Len Wiseman, who did Underworld, and most recently the upcoming Ballerina movie. Why not have him come in and do it? So there's people that y'all can find to bring in that whole situation. So then, yeah, he's also brought up the delayed Nova TV series, which, Marvel is no longer working on as a point of comparison. They said that's similar to how development on Nova could easily resume. Blade could be revived down the line. Now, Blade being canceled doesn't mean that Marvel is going away with Ali. However, Your Only Hope says Marvel will look to introduce Blade in a different project, listing the rumored Midnight Suns or Avengers Secret Wars as possibilities. They all mentioned the idea of having giving Blade a supporting role in a film, citing Namor in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Well, I don't know if I actually like that, but here's the Twitter thread because I made sure I left that open so that way when I come, I can talk to you about it. So yeah, in his Twitter thread, he said the following. He said, I heard some Blade news I trust, filed under rumor for now. If you want / take it with a grain of salt, I'm okay with that. Well, yeah, let's do that. But we'll entertain it because that's what we do on this show. He said, I'm told the rumors that John Wick filmmaker Chad Stahelski could take over the franchise is incorrect. In fact, the creative direction of Blade has totally shifted. I need more specifics on that. What is the creative direction? While Mahershala Ali is still attached all these years later, despite some of the talk that he was being difficult about approving scripts, from what I'm hearing, the Blade movie is essentially nixed for now. Then he says, now that doesn't mean we won't get a Blade movie someday. Take Nova, for example. The series got scrapped for now. In other words, pencils have been put down and active development is shuttered for the moment, but who knows, we could still get it down the line. The same has essentially happened to the Blade movie. So what does that mean for Ali and the character? Well, they'll still use him and introduce him another way. Blade will likely be introduced normally in either the still developing Midnight Suns movie or Avengers Secret Wars, or possibly as a supporting character in another movie, like the way Namor was first introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, if I were a betting man, I would say likely not Secret Wars, as Marvel tends to not randomly add new characters into big ensemble casts like that because Blade would totally be lost in that shuffle and would not get a proper introduction. It'll either be Midnight Suns, and if they don't crack that story, they'll likely find a way to introduce him in someone else's story, perhaps paving the way for a solo film down the road. Things shift, things change. This is what I've heard in the most recent moment. Frankly, this makes the most sense to me right now, especially the Namor WF route. File under rumor if you want. I'm good with it. Well, I don't know how I feel about this because uh, they keep saying something about Midnight Suns. Most people don't have any idea who Midnight Suns is. I feel like if you're going to do Midnight Suns, I don't know if you would risk it doing it as a movie. Maybe what needs to happen is, oh my God, what was that Supernatural one-off that they did over on Disney Plus? Maybe they need to do something like that where Midnight Suns is like a little movie, mini series, whatever, like a 6-episode series or whatever that you can throw on Disney Plus around the time of Halloween and have Blade pop up there in some sort of way, and that'll be the launching pad for a Blade solo film. Because I feel like at this day, I mean, honestly, Blade by itself, you put the movie out, depending on how it all looks, people will go see it because it's Blade. I know people are in their feelings, but well, there's only one Blade. It was like, okay. Like at some point, we got to start moving on and accepting that, you know what, things evolve, things change, people get old, and we need to move on from that. Now, speaking of old, let's get into Mahershala Ali. I don't know how long y'all could develop. I mean, y'all could keep delaying this movie. It's already been delayed for 6 years already. And Mahershala is not getting any younger. Now, let's be clear. His black don't crack. So while he doesn't look like he's 50, them bones say otherwise. Like you even hear about Keanu Reeves talking about he's 60 years old. He don't know how long he can keep doing John Wick, even though John Wick is getting a fifth one. He said, as long as these knees, you know, the knees be kneeing. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to sit around and do these films. So you have to realize, like, while we all look, you know, people look youthful on the outside, the inside say otherwise. And that's why you got to think about it in that context. So the point remains: do we still keep benching Mahershala Ali while y'all try to figure the hell out this film? Which I don't understand. What is there to figure out? Like, there's so many comics about Blade that y'all can take from. Or is it really that difficult for people to come up with a story about a daywalker slaying vampires? Like, I don't know if you need to, everything don't need to be complex. Everything don't need like a multi-episode arc situation or 7 stories being told in one film. Like how y'all be trying to juggle all these little balls in the air with your regular MCU projects. But it's like, give us a straightforward vampire hunter series. And if you want to bring other characters in that are just kind of like popping in and out every now and again, then that's cool. But people just want a straightforward Blade movie. I just don't understand what the hell's taking it so long. Why can't Marvel crack the code? Or is the problem because it's attached to Marvel, where Marvel has a specific formula that they like to stick with, and it's interfering with them trying to develop this franchise? Why don't y'all just kind of like have it be its own thing, like Daredevil, where Daredevil's off doing their own thing? And I heard people having mixed reviews about Daredevil. I don't know what the hell for. Daredevil this season is great. I don't know what the hell y'all are expecting, but I'm thoroughly enjoying Daredevil. I'm a couple episodes behind, but from what I've seen so far, I'm liking the show. And so I just feel like they need to figure out what the hell's going on with this movie. It's sad that they're still trying to figure out how to make things work. And who knows? Maybe they need to just be like, you know what, Mahershala, we'll have you just stick around as a producer. We made this whole big spectacle. Kevin Feige had him come out and be like, oh, look, we got our Blade. Everybody got excited. And now he's just been benched for like damn near 7 years while everybody else is getting their movies off the ground and everybody gets to have their moment. And Mahershala Ali is having to run off and do other roles while y'all try to figure out how the hell to make this character work. So maybe just keep him around as a producer, have him continue to cut a check because y'all owe him for having to have him sit around and waiting for a while. I'm glad he did the Jurassic movie because otherwise he'd probably still be burning through his damn money if he's sitting around waiting for y'all to get a damn movie together. So hopefully all this works out. And if he doesn't end up being Blade, keep him on the side in the background, have him get a producer's credit, and then find somebody else who could play the character that's much younger that you can have in a multi-movie type of contract. I don't know who y'all can get to play, take over for Blade if it doesn't work. And not no damn Wesley Snipes. Like, we need to move on. Wesley Snipes gave us what he gave with the 3 movies he gave us. And then, 3.5, because he was in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to this rumor going around that Blade has been shelved indefinitely? I do like the idea of Chad Stahelski coming on board to direct the film, but he's so damn busy right now. He does not have time to come on and give his wherewithal with this franchise. But it would have been cool to see him in this film. And hopefully y'all get it together. Hopefully before 2030 we can get a Blade movie in theaters. So I definitely want to hear from you all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was like, what is that? I thought I had something on my face. No, it was I'm seeing something on the screen. I was like, ooh. Let me take that off. It looked like I had an extra bowl. But anyway, let's move on, y'all. Okay, now speaking of some MCU news, let's get into this MCU news. So the other day, when we did that whole chair thing, and I'll read you off the list of people who was officially a part of the cast. That because I did miss a couple, and I did say if y'all had known of any extra people, because look, the stream went on for 5.5 hours, unnecessarily so. I don't know why the hell this thing lasted 5.5 hours of y'all spending 12 minutes on 12 minutes per chair. That's literally what they spent on. I was like, okay, now it got a lot of people talking. 275 million people tune in with, on YouTube and on Twitter and all these other places combined. So yeah, it was cool that this thing got a lot of people talking. It got, it was trending all over social media, even though it cost y'all probably like $10 in a bag of Skittles to produce a damn, let's keep one camera on one chair when we got like 27 damn actors about to show up in Avengers Doomsday for 12 minutes. When y'all could have just did one big ass tracking shot and just like, that big old Marvel music, and then just panned across all the chairs. It would have been less than 5 minutes. And if people missed the chair, they can always rewind it a little bit back on the social media, whatever y'all watching on, and press pause. Or do what I did. I talked about, whatever ones that were revealed thus far, and I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just wait the next day, and then I'm gonna just wait till all the names come out, and then we'll talk about it. And now here we are. So, because I ain't got time to be sitting up in here and just watching a damn 5.5 hour live stream of a bunch of damn actors' chairs. So yeah. In addition to my little rant on that, what had happened was apparently the minute, and I said this, I believe, on the last stream that I did regarding this story. The minute I saw Tenoch Huerta Mejia's name pop up, I was like, wait, I was shocked. I was like, Namor is going to be in this movie? The minute I saw that name, I was like, oh, here we go. Watch people bring up Jonathan Majors. Well, how come Tenoch got to be in the movie and y'all don't have Jonathan Majors up in the movie? And lo and behold, that's exactly, people are so damn predictable. Lo and behold, that's what happened. So Marvel fans all over the world were excited on Wednesday when the cast of the upcoming film Avengers Doomsday was announced. But conversations about the movie quickly took a turn thanks to the inclusion of one actor, namely Tenoch Huerta Mejia, and the exclusion of another, namely Jonathan Majors. It's no secret as to why Majors wasn't named in the laundry list of actors. Just moments after he was convicted of reckless assault back in December 2023, stemming from his domestic dispute trial, the studio called one of his managers to tell him that they'll be parting ways and he'd no longer be playing to the coveted role of the next big bad King the Conqueror. I just realized they made a mistake because they said no longer be playing two coveted role. That don't even make sense. But I think they meant the. But anyway, as for Huerta, who played villain Namor in Black Panther Wakanda Forever back in, or they say Namor, but it's Namor, back in 2022, his return to the MCU only makes sense as it was clear from the aforementioned film. They made another mistake because they said form the aforementioned. This is why y'all need to proofread before y'all hit say, here I go being an English teacher. Grammar police. Is that as it was clear from the aforementioned film that the studio had plans to build upon his storyline. However, as many pointed out, not too many months after Major's allegations from his domestic dispute incident hit the internet, Huerta was hit with allegations of his own. So to be specific, an alleged ex-girlfriend of his accused him of SA in June of 2023. Huerta denied the allegations at the time, calling them false and offensive. Huerta nor his accuser have yet to go to court over the claims. Yet, and still, the memory of his allegations were still fresh on folks' minds when Marvel's new reveal hit the internet, and people took no time at all hopping on Twitter to call out the differences in how the giant studio was treating the two men. So one person put, hey, wasn't Tenoch accused of grape? And it's in caps, the RAPE. And another person said, if they announce Tenoch Huerta next to Jonathan Majors, stands are going to be insufferable. Mm-hmm. And like clockwork, they were. And another person said, there's no effing way Marvel gives Tenoch a chair without Disney being surefire about those allegations, right? And yeah, I did comment on this person's post, and they responded back. It was like, and in my opinion, is this: With the legal team that Marvel has, there's no way they didn't have their private investigators look into this before Tenoch was brought on board. So they can't afford, in my opinion, another scandal a la Majors. Plus, I also feel like the way that they handled Kang was a disaster. One of the things I will say that I could not stand was the fact that y'all had him up in that movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp, literally 20. I told y'all this before. I did not go to the movies to see it, but I watched it when it popped up on Disney Plus. So I was in the middle of doing some, work on my laptop and stuff, and I had it on. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, this movie is terrible. Literally 20 minutes in, I checked out. It was literally background noise to me. I just had it on in the background as I was working. But the movie was bad. And then on top of that, the way that y'all handle Kang's supposed to be like this big bad in the same vein as like a Thanos. How the hell you getting beat by some third-rate superhero like a damn Ant-Man? Like, fuck out of here. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I love me some Paul Rudd. But, child, the way that you should not be given, like, no, Ant-Man should not be given his own movies. Like, nobody cares enough to want to sit through an Ant-Man movie and want to see it by itself. I understand, like, look, Marvel, MCU, y'all took a risk. Y'all were trying to give us like kind of these offbeat type characters to give them their solo films, but Ant-Man never really stood out for me as like one of those like, oh my God, I need to rush to the theater to go see an Ant-Man movie. Ant-Man should have been treated the same way that y'all did Black Widow and Hawkeye, which is he should have been like a side character that pops up with other people's shit. That's the way y'all should have did that. He should not have been given a solo film. Now, because I would say like the Hawkeye series that they had on TV, it was all right. Black Widow was okay, but the movie. And for the most part, some of y'all just work as a side character in other people's projects rather than getting your own solo stuff. So, and Ant-Man is one of them. He should have been a side character or just a secondary or third-rate character in somebody else's movie or TV show, wherever the hell y'all want to place him. And I'm glad that in a way that they're going to use him in some sort in Avengers Doomsday. But for the most part, I hated the way y'all dealt with his character. I can't really speak on Kang in Loki season 2 because I didn't really watch Loki season 2. Quiet as it's kept, I didn't even watch Loki season 1. I just didn't care. I mean, I like Tom Hiddleston and I like him as Loki, but I never cared enough to sit and watch a Loki TV series. He was never that guy that got me that excited to want to see a solo series with Loki in it. Like, he was good for being a thorn in Thor's ass. But as far as like his own show, no, I didn't care enough to watch it. So I don't know how his character was handled in that. I've heard people make opinions about it, but for the most part, I just felt like the way that y'all handled Jonathan Majors in his Kang role, why would y'all want to see Kang in another project when the way that these writers wrote him, I feel like y'all dropped the ball on it. So, and people need to realize this. So for y'all trying to wonder, in addition to the whole thing of like, yeah, Disney not wanting another scandal, like they had with Jonathan Majors, they actually waited until all the I's was dotted and all the T's was crossed in Jonathan's situation, legal situation, before they made the decision to be like, we're parting ways. I also think that the way they wrote the character was another reason. So I just thought that I think both those factors played into him being dismissed as Kang. But also, Tenoch hasn't been found guilty of anything. Jonathan Majors has. Also, we heard the audio a couple of days ago before when Magazine Dreams came, but if y'all love him, this is what I keep saying about y'all with this fake outrage. Oh, well, how come this one is this and this one this? Same thing I said about Melissa Barrera, I'm gonna say up in here about Jonathan Majors. If y'all love y'all some Jonathan Majors so much, where the fuck was y'all when Magazine Dreams came out? I didn't see y'all in the theater to go see it. The movie made $700,000 at the box office. 700,000. So where the hell are y'all? The same ones that's out here complaining about Jonathan Majors. I guarantee y'all wasn't up in the movies opening weekend to go see Magazine Dreams. The movie flopped. So it's easy to jump into the Matrix and say all this other stuff because I want clicks, likes, and attention. But if you're not actually going to walk the walk instead of talking the talk, then shut the fuck up. And I like Jonathan Majors. But for the most part, this whole thing about him coming out with the bit, I arrest you. This files on the I was like, okay, stop with all that Harvard psychobabble and just be like, you did something, you put pause on her. Don't stop with that, I arrest you. That files under aggression. Like, fuck out of here with that. So, because you sound like a damn idiot. But look, that's who Megan Good want to get with, and that's who she married. So now you stuck with him until he aggress you. But the thing with Tenoch, he hasn't been accused of anything. I mean, he's been accused. He hasn't been found guilty. And last time I checked, in this country, I mean, unless you under a current administration where due process and rules don't apply, people are mostly innocent until proven guilty. I could have sworn that was the whole situation. So we're not going to sit up here and be like, well, Tenoch did it. None of y'all was in the room where he allegedly did the things that his girlfriend is saying that he's doing. And these days we know that people could just run out here and say stuff. And just because they say it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. So I'm sure, like I said before, Disney have their private investigators because they got a whole lot of money. If they could spend all that $200 million in that horrible ass Disney Snow White movie, trust and believe they can dig into the chest, the war chest, and dig up enough money for their private investigators to look into Tenoch and all the other allegations that his girlfriend has made, which she hasn't moved forward with it. So what? Are we just supposed to just be like, okay, so now we're at a stalemate. Nothing has moved in regards to this case, so we can't use him anymore. He's not allowed to work because she made an allegation. If he did what he did, then she should have pushed and moved forward with this case. That's the way I see it. If you're saying this man who you was in a relationship with assaulted you, then why haven't you moved forward with it? You just made an allegation and just kept it as that. You should have been out here doing all the same thing that these women out here is doing towards Diddy and Jay-Z and all these other artists. You should have been doing that to Tenoch. If that man did what he said, you said he did, that he assaulted you. And he has like a kinky sexual fetish or whatever the case is. Whatever, child, I want to know what that is. Because Tenoch, he can get it. And that's not me just saying it because it's like, okay, he's cute or whatever the case is. But for the fact of the matter is, I'm going to base off the legalities of the situation. So you got to follow the law, unless it's different down in Mexico versus it is in the United States because he is Mexican and he is a Mexican actor. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at it from a legal standpoint and not necessarily a he said, she said standpoint. So that, in my opinion, is the reason why I feel that Jonathan Majors is being treated differently than Tenoch, because these are two brown men in a situation that it would be controversial under the whole Disney thing. Oh my God, I totally forgot that I was supposed to, and I closed the damn window, that we're supposed to go through the list of thespians that are going to appear in this damn movie. So according to reports, so far, the people who are going to be a part of the Avengers chairs is the following. So let's pull up the situation. So we have Robert Downey Jr. here looking like Charlie Chaplin, which he already played him in the movie. We have Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman from Fantastic Four, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka Captain America, Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier, which I know some people were upset that Sebastian Stan was mentioned because they were like, people thought that he actually was going to die in Thunderbolts. And they feel like that y'all probably shot the water a little too early by revealing people who are going to come back as these characters when we should have just waited until Thunderbolts comes out before we know who's in what. But maybe, who knows? Maybe this Sebastian Stan that's in this film might be a variant. I don't know. But yeah, I do agree that y'all should have probably kept that hidden, like certain actors. Letitia Wright is Shuri, the Black Panther, which I know people's like, so this is mean that we're not getting another Black Panther. I think she's probably going to be in this film, but we are going to get another Black Panther right after Secret Wars. Paul Rudd is Ant-Man, Wyatt Russell is John Walker, the U.S. agent from Thunderbolts, Tenoch Huerta Mejia as Namor, Evan Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm from The Thing, well, The Thing from Fantastic Four, I should say, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, which, hello, why haven't we gotten another Shang-Chi movie? It's been far too long since we've gotten another Shang-Chi movie. Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, who is, the Black Widow. Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Hopefully they do him in the makeup and all the stuff. I did not like the Beast that they did him in the Marvels. I did not like how that looked. It looked a little too CGI for me and a little too fake. Louis Pullman as Sentry from Thunderbolts. You're not supposed to reveal that. I don't know why they put that in there because Louis Pullman was actually supposed to be known as Bob. But that was the rumor that he was actually Sentry. But they revealed it. So Spoiler alert. But I think there's always been a rumor that Lewis Pullman was going to play Sentry. Because remember, at one point, oh my God, what the hell's his name? The Asian guy that was in The Walking Dead that Negan killed. He was supposed to be playing Sentry, but then he stepped away from. He didn't end up doing it. So then, of course, Danny Ramirez is the Falcon. Hopefully, they do more with him than they did in the last Captain America movie because I felt like he was underused. Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. David Harbour is Red Guardian. Winston Duke is M'Baku. You know, I love me some M'Baku. I'm glad we get him in this freaking movie. But what is they going to have him? What are they going to have him do? Instead, what is like I'm in the color purple? What are they going to have him do? Hannah John came in as Ghost in Thunderbolts. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Ian McKellen as Magneto. Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Rebecca Romijn as Mystique. James Marsden as Cyclops, Channing Tatum as Gambit, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four, and Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom. And I think after all of that, when we got all the 24, I think the only three that was missing, well, we already knew about Robert Downey Jr. because he was the first one that was named. We didn't get Channing Tatum and we didn't get Pedro Pascal because I was like, how are you going to announce all the other people from Fantastic Four, but Pedro's name is not up there? It didn't make sense. And Channing Tatum as Gambit, I love Channing Tatum as Gambit in the last Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So I'm actually excited that they're bringing him back in this role. Hopefully they utilize him a lot more. Just like I need justice for Cyclops because the way that he was treated in those Bryan Singer movies pissed me off. But I guess who knows? Maybe James Marsden would refuse to sleep with him. That's probably why he didn't get all those damn roles. And maybe he was a little too old for, Bryan Singer, allegedly. Because you act like that the only X-Men that mattered was fucking Wolverine, and that used to piss me off. And I love me some Hugh Jackman, but he was not the only person that should have been getting a lot of shine in that damn movie. The way that y'all treated James Marsden just pissed me off in the whole thing. So I'm really hoping they give Cyclops a lot more to do. I'm hoping that while we haven't heard from Storm, where's Halle Berry? Maybe she'll show up in Secret Wars. I don't know. And I think we are getting more characters because there's some people that said that, what about Spider-Man? Why haven't we heard from Spider-Man? Why is Tom Holland not being announced and all this other stuff? Because people need to realize, or maybe you don't know this, the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, is going to be it's an in-between film. So it's a wedge between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So we get Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, and then Secret Wars. So I do feel like Spider-Man is going to appear in Secret Wars. And I do feel like we're going to get a lot more names that are going to be added to the repertoire down the road. So that's what all that is. I'll be on my shit when it comes to the comic book movies. So I want to ask you all, what do you guys think of this story in regards of the latest on the Avengers and everything going on, especially when it comes to Tenoch and people saying that it's not fair that you don't have that you gave Tenoch a role in the film, but not Jonathan Majors. I gave you all my opinions on why the reason why they moved on with his character and why he's not going to be in the movies, the future movies. But I would definitely want to hear from you all. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I had to stall a little bit because I forgot I accidentally closed my Cardi B story. I was stalling a little bit on that one. I was like, wait, why did I disclose that? I think he meant Hulu's gay Golden Girls sitcom is being trash. I saw it coming, but I'm like, when you get up there in age, you understand why I can't be informed. First of all, I've been watching the show. I'm gonna get my opinions on it when we get to the Matt Bowman story. Because I didn't even know it dropped until I happened to go on Hulu the other day. I think I went on there on Friday. I was like, oh, the show came out already? So I was like, let me watch it. I watched it right after Drag Race. And which I'm going to actually do the Drag Race recap tomorrow. I thought about doing it today, but I said I'll save it for Monday, like we normally do. What I appreciate about Tenoch is how he was representation for real Indigenous people. And yeah, agreed. And hopefully that his career picks up after all of this. But I think it was because of all the drama that had transpired during that time. It did affect him. But I do feel like we would have gotten more. And one of my well, Sailor Mermaid and we know him, Miguel. He went dressed as Namor. Um, I think at Comic Con or something or another, because he goes to Comic Con every season. I mean, every year. So, and all the different, cons. But he went as Namor. But yeah, I do love the fact that how hard he goes for like indigenous people and not just be like, okay, so what y'all think a Mexican look like is not Salma Hayek. I mean, yeah, shout out to her and that kind, but we need to start showing some real representation and some real indigenous looking people from Mexico and not just this somebody that is white presenting. And the only way they actually Latino is from an accent. I was really invested and obsessed the first season of Loki, but by the time, yeah, that's why I said like, and I feel like because they took too long, this other stuff, I just think, I invested in the show and I'm here to watch it because it's, it is what it is. And then it's just like, okay, new season, don't care. I'll get around to it eventually. So I remember Gambit was supposed to have his own. Yeah, there was. And then they were just like, I think at the time it was supposed to happen at 20th Century Fox, but then the buyout happened. They started losing money. They sold it to Disney. It got lost in the shuffle. They were like ready to go and having this film get developed and everything. And then I think that's when the whole shift happened between 20th Century Fox, which is now 20th Century Studios, and Disney. And so the movie got lost in the sauce. And then thanks to Ryan Reynolds and, his stuff with Blake Lively aside, the good thing I will say about the film is that Ryan Reynolds is like, I'm gonna just give all these people that didn't get their just due in their movies, I'm gonna give them their moment. Whereas we never got a Gambit movie. Blade 3 was atrocious. Don't even get me started on Elektra, which I actually went to the movie to see because I love me some Jennifer Garner. But the movie was terrible. And of course, we got X what was it, X-93? Old girl from Logan, which actually was a good damn movie. So she was the only one that got something good out of it. The rest of them, they was in sucky movies. Yeah, so far, but we'll see. Yeah, but there's like only out of all of them, it's going to be one big sausage fest of this movie. But I'm definitely curious to see. Damn, what is the budget on this movie and how much they had to pay all these actors? Y'all got like 27 in this film, and what is this shit going to be? 3 hours? I feel like it's probably going to be like the Snyder cut of Justice League. It's going to be a 4-hour damn movie. We're going to be sitting up in there watching. I just hope it doesn't suck. Because MCU, y'all on thin ice in a lot of ways. But anyway. All right, now that we got all the movie stuff out of the way, let's get into some messy gossip. So yeah, Cardi B once again has invited us into the group chat because she decided to lay down and have 3 kids with a bitch named Offset. So I was like, hold on, because I know I got the pictures and stuff up here. But actually, before we do that, I was like, I gotta transfer over to. Okay, I got it. All right, so apparently Cardi has given us an insight on what's been going on with her baby's father. I don't know if they divorced yet, but girl, in this case, you need to get yourself a restraining order if all this other stuff you've been saying about your man is true. So she decided instead of going down and filing a restraining order and going to the police and filing all this mess, she decided to go on Spaces on Twitter to basically air out her former husband with allegations about what he's been doing to her. So yeah, he's saying that he's been trying to interfere with her love life, that he sent text messages to somebody that she was seeing and sent them revenge RP. Y'all know it's the rhymes with corn. And was out here harassing her, calling her phone. I got all the clips. So we're gonna get into that so y'all can hear it. And then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
No, stop calling me. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. So let me tell ya about this fuck ass nigga, right? For the past couple of months, I've been very quiet, but I've been going through a lot of stuff that I keep to myself. First thing first, this guy, right, is upset because I sent his girlfriend text messages of him begging me, saying he was gonna take away his life, begging me, saying he's gonna take away my life, all that shit. He was mad. He's mad about that. Mind you, this man sent text messages to somebody that I was dealing with me of me and him having sex. That's the type of shit I've been dealing with for the past 2 months. Every time he knows that I go out of town, he harasses me. He leave me voice notes trying to put my self-esteem to the ground. And I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of him and his girlfriend playing games on my phone, leaving explicit voice notes on my fucking voicemails on my phone. I told this girl, hey, why you I hit this girl up before. Like, yo, I better not find out you in my house. This girl gonna tell me why you care that I'm in the house. You haven't been there for 3 years. Girl, how you gonna tell me why I'm mad that you in my house when that's my house that I bought? Are you okay? And then this nigga gonna FaceTime me with his girl. Mind you, yo, you've been harassing me and harassing the men that I've been dealing with for months already. You've been harassing my friends. You send people to get my friend beat up, my homegirl.
Yeah, so now she's basically saying in so many words that he's sending people out to beat up her friends, harass her friends, got some bottom feeder that he passing off as his girlfriend. I don't know who this bitch is, but he's saying that she going around telling me why you care that I'm up in your house. You ain't been here for this long. First of all, bitch, who are you to determine why I'm up you up in my house? If my name is on the deed, if I pay the bills, bitch, you don't stay here. You ain't got no squatters' rights because who invited you up in there? And number two, Cardi, if Offset is staying in one of the houses that his name isn't even on because Squatters is kept, I don't know. Look, I've been saying this. Offset ain't got no money. Or Offset probably has money, but his career ain't popping like Cardi's is. Cardi has always had the bigger career, and I feel like that has been an envious situation that he's been dealing with for a majority of his career. He is like the bottom. I mean, if we talk about people from the Migos, he was always at the bottom of the toe, but wasn't nobody checking for Offset like that. He got to upgrade the minute he got with Cardi. And it's no shade. It's just literally nobody ain't know or give a good goddamn who Offset was until he got with her. And people started paying attention to her. I mean, him. Because you wasn't getting courtside seats at the Knicks game by yourself. You had to come with her. And I know this because I work at the Garden and I've seen them plenty of times courtside. And Cardi still be going to MSG events sitting courtside without his ass being there. So he not getting them seats down there next to Tracy Morgan on his own. Shout out to Tracy Morgan. The one time, of course, I did not work. The incident happened where he threw up on the court and they had to delay the game. And I was literally asking my coworkers, was y'all here? No, that was my day. I'm like, damn, like everybody who it so happened, a lot of us had the day off when the shit happened. But it'll be good. It'll be cool to see Tracy come back. But anyway, back to her. Cause I've been, first of all, see, she too damn nice. I don't give a good goddamn you my baby daddy or not. You need to figure out whatever money you getting from the pocket money. Cause that's how it sound like when he rap. It's like, put some subtitles on that ninja. I'd be like, you need to find yourself a little condo or a little apartment up somewhere and move there because you're not staying in any of my damn property. And she's too damn nice because I would have filed restraining orders. I would have did all of that. Not jump on social media and spilling my tea because you told me she got all this evidence. You have enough evidence to go against it. But wait, there's more. So I know I'm jumping the gun, but I just wanted to get all that out before I forget it. She went on and basically said even more about like how they've been harassing her for months and gave an ultimatum of what's going to happen if she don't get her apology, which I doubt she's going to get. But if she don't, I'm here for it. And even said that there was a blogger that Offset has been working with to try to spread rumors and stuff about her. Now, the question remains is, who is this blogger? And quite reminds me, I know it ain't Trashy K, because girl, you already been taken to the cleaners in regards of you not keeping Cardi's name out your damn mouth. So I'm curious. I don't think it's Armand Wiggins. So I'm definitely curious as to who is this blogger that she was referring to. In the words of my girl Sutton Strack, Cardi, name them. Because inquiring minds over here want to know. But anyway, we have that clip. We're going to play it, and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
And I'm letting everybody know that if this nigga and his little pet don't apologize to me by noon, I'm exposing everything because him and his little pet been trolling me for the past 4 months, leaving explicit voice notes, voicemails on my phone, telling me to shut the fuck up, disrespecting me. So if him and his pet don't apologize to me by noon, I'm exposing motherfuckers so bad. And I know y'all don't want to hear it, but I don't give a fuck. Because you want to know why? I've been letting motherfuckers troll me for a long time, leaving me crazy voicemails, telling me crazy stuff in text messages, trolling me, hitting up niggas that I be dealing with. Now it's my turn. Now it's not fun. Now it's not fun, right? When the demon is inside of me, getting your fucking little fucking. Oh, and by the way, and you want to know how all this started? This started because he want to get his blog friends to troll me. Mind you, y'all know I got a lot of blogger friends. I don't tell my blogger friends to bother y'all. And mind you, I've been telling Bardigan to please leave things peacefully, but I don't give a fuck. If I don't get my apology by noon, I want an apology, not by one, but by both. By both. Cause the niggas be putting a bug in a bit in bitch's ear. And it's like, bitch, you met the right one, bitch. You met the fucking right one. I don't know what niggas told you about me, but both of y'all met the right one. I want my apology by fucking noon. I'll let y'all know if I get the apology. If I don't, it's going to be hell. I'm exposing every fucking thing. Everything. Thank you. And yes, yes, yes. Oh, Cardi, wait for the music. No. I have a personal life too. I be going through shit with my personal life. If I want to fucking talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. The fuck? Shit. Y'all know what the fuck I've been going through. I just keep it to myself. But motherfuckers will pay today. Today is the day. Today is payday. Today is payday. I want my check.
She said, I'm going to
And I'm like,
expose every effing thing. Like she pronounced every other, she enunciated the hell out of that. She also said, look, this her well, she said the P word. She said, this is my coochie. I can give it to whoever the hell I want to. And she right. She grown. If she want to sit out here and lay low and spread it wide with Stephon Diggs, who is the FNL NFL player. Apparently I'm dyslexic today. The NFL player that she was seeing around Valentine's Day. And this is the type of ninja that she messing with. He's one of those that is like, I want to run out. I want to have my cake and eat it. I want to be able to creep and do all this other stuff, but you're not allowed to do it. How do you get to sling your little nasty behind dingaling, probably got bumple stillskins all over it, to any other piece of ass under the damn sun? But if Cardi want to go out and do what she got to do to get her rocks off, it's a problem. And I don't like people like that. This is when you start messing with these fuck ninjas, where it's like, oh, I want to be able to do whatever I want, but if I can't have you, nobody will. It's like, you don't own her. You had your moment with her. And that's what, and shout out, I don't like her, but shout out to Jess He Not Hilarious, because I think when she went on Club Shay Shay podcast, she had brought something up about it, and she said that he slid up in her DMs or whatever. It was like, why you bringing me up on an interview? And she was like, I only read a little piece of it, but if I would have went on, I would have cussed his ass out. She was gonna lay his ass out. I'd be like, don't come at me with this mess, because you out here doing a lot of fuck shit towards her. It's like, you can't be out here thinking, oh, you're gonna be good for a moment. Oh yeah, I'm changed. I'm good. Take me back. And you do good for a couple of weeks, but then you go back to backsliding. Because I forget who it was. Oh, Carisha. She came out here and said, oh, I'm going to give you 4 times the cheat. Oh, no, motherfucker. You ain't even getting that many. I'll give you half. If you cheat on me one time, we'll work it out. I'm not just going to give up and being in a relationship when it comes to one person if they cheat on me one time. The second time, I was like, okay, get to getting, get your shit, and get out. In the words of Bernadine from Waiting to Exhale. Get your shit, and get out. Because what you're not going to do is sit up in here. I'm not giving you 4 chances. Are you dumb? But then again, we talking about Carisha. So I could definitely see why she would give you 4 chances. I'm like, no, 2 is enough. I'll give you one time. It's like, okay, you slipped. That is what it is. 2, 3, 4. Like, no. That now it's like I can't trust you. After the second time, it's like, okay, now you playing in my face. And as I say many times on this show, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you a dumbass bitch. And it's like I gave you a chance. The one time it was a slip up, but if you're going to do it multiple times, Now you playing with me. Now I'm going to have to, well, I'm not going to put no hands on nobody. It's just like, no, you got to go. Because I ain't going to jail. I've done enough times where I've assaulted people for playing in my face, and I wound up catching a case. So like, you can't be out here smacking people all the damn time whenever they pinch you off. So, Cardi, what you need to do, get a restraining order. I know he wants to get partial custody of the kids. What? No, I don't need my kids around him because now I don't want to compare it to like you in a Kanye type situation, but you're dealing with a nut and you giving him way too many chances. I know a lot of people say like, well, save it for the music, save it for the music. And any other time I would be like, yeah, she need to save it for the music. We tired of hearing you always inviting us to the group chat. However, this is a situation where it's like, yeah, we should be aware of it. I know the Barty gang probably dragging his ass from sun up to Sunday on this whole situation, and rightfully so. But here's the gag. Who is this girlfriend that is jumping up in the comments trying to act like that she that bitch? Because I'm saying, okay, well, I understand you doing what you need to do for your man because you need to, fill your quota, or you need to show like you actually in solidarity with Offset bitch ass, which, sis, I don't know if you're aware, but he gonna do to you what he did to Cardi. So I don't know why. I hope you don't think you exempt when you got that magic pussy that's gonna keep him from laying it low and spreading it wide with another woman like he did, or multiple women like he did with Cardi. But I need y'all to fan out who is this bitch that's jumping up in here, um, windmilling hard for off shit. Cause that's what we need to call him, cause he ain't shit. So we ain't calling him Offset no more. His name is gonna be Off Shit. So yeah, shout out to you, Cardi. Do what you need to do. I also want to know who this blogger is that he's secretly working with, cause spill the tea. And if he don't give her apology when she said, which was noon, that's the way she said it. Which would that be considered today? Cause noon passed. So we're gonna find out. When I do tomorrow's show, if she got her apology. And if she didn't, sis, I need you to hop up on Spaces and I need you to do what my girl Sutton Strack told Kyle Richards, which she got annoyed with. Name them. Name them. Name them. Name them. Name them. Multiple times. Name them all. Because we want to know. And then you can take their ass to the cleaners like you did Trashy K. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Cardi B putting her bitch ass baby daddy on blast for the stuff that he been saying about her out in these goddamn streets and harassing her? I am not gonna be able to monetize this damn clip. This cousin, but look, she done cussed all over my damn thing. But and I had this, and I'm saying what I'm saying. So I'm gonna have to just really hope and pray that I can monetize this clip. But anyway, so I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Ciao. Oh. Mm-hmm. He was always bitch ass. She seems like to like the drama. Girl, get a restraint. That's what I said. And she do, because I'm no shade, but Libras like drama. Trust and believe. I got a friend that's a Libra. Anytime you call me, it's always some bullshit. I had an ex-friend that was a Libra. Always caught him in some drama. T.S. Madison, y'all see how she be getting when she all over her damn show, cussing this one, that, and the other, and I live for her. But y'all Libras, y'all live for that. Y'all like a lot of that drama. I don't know if it gets y'all booty holes and your pussies puckering, but a lot of y'all like all of that back and forth. I don't. But I will address a bitch if need be. But for the most part, yeah, a lot of Libras, they love that drama. So I do agree with you on that. See, she could have called her ghost. Sailor Murray. To express her frustration and take it to the booth and make music. All this tea. Yeah, because I'm sitting there like, well, girl, with you putting all this on social media, will we even care about the music at this point? Because it's like you said you put all this energy and drama on Spaces and stuff. By the time the music come out, we ain't gonna care. But look, at least we got other female artists out here. We got Doechii. Shout out to her. We got Megan Thee Stallion whenever she drops something cute. Doja Cat got a new album coming out. So there's other girlies out here giving us, quality music for the most part. While Cardi over here arguing about her baby daddy on some damn Twitter. Well, hello. That's why I said turn that shit into like a stack or 5. some coins. This is why I say having a baby with someone is bigger than marriage. Well, look, she got 3 of them. She got 3 kids with that bum, and he got a bunch of kids with other women. So now you stuck with him. Same thing I said about Kim Kardashian. You stuck with a madman for the rest of your life with all them 4 kids you got. Sidebar, did y'all see that video with Northwest and FKA Twigs? It was cute. That's the one that Kanye's all mad about. Those other women must. They probably, whatever money he got. Because quiet as can anybody checking for Offset like that? To me, cheating is always the nail in the coffin to a relationship unless that makeup sex is through the floor. What could you possibly do to make up for that? Yeah, I don't know. If you invested a lot of time into a relationship and they just cheat on you once, I don't know if I could just walk away from something that I built with somebody for a while, just cheating once. But I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on your ass. It's like, okay, I forgive, but I don't forget. But if you do it again and I find out, oh no, bitch, it's on like Donkey Kong. You are out. T.S. Maddie. He said, I'm a Libra and I do see. See, it's like I know, trust I know my signs. Oh yeah, we are a bit dramatic over here. And you said Libra moons are also known to be home. Ooh, not a home wrecker. Let me find you out here offsetting people. Or as we like to call him, off shit. Because that's his new name. Now, speaking of messes, I don't know if she's a Libra, but let's talk about Katy Perry. Who her A&R, which basically for those of you who don't know, industry speak starts basically means artist and repertoire. So they're the person that works behind the scenes, that basically is like, oh, this is who you should pretty much work with on your music. Like they recommend like producers, whatever the case is, when you're working with artists and all this other stuff. But anyway, so he basically is taking the blame for Katy working with Dr. Puke on her recent album 143 that flopped harder than Snow White at the box office. Now, fans of Katy Perry might now have someone to point their fingers to for her recent work with Dr. Puke and a recent The Manager's Playbook interview, which I do have that YouTube. I didn't watch the interview, but I do have it linked on my website if you guys have not seen it. So the singer's A&R manager, Chris Anacuti, I think is how you say his name, said that it was his desire to reconnect Perry with the disgraced producer for her album 143. Saying, quote, I think there was some backlash on her reuniting with Dr. Luke, which was my desire. So they basically said that wait, actually, hold on. Well, they basically telling us where to go. Maybe I should open this up and maybe I should open it up and just go right to the video so y'all can see it. But hopefully we don't get in trouble. Where he said what he said. So hold on. Because we'll play the clip. But hopefully they don't flag me for it. Let's go right to hold on.
This last Katy record we put out wasn't a commercial success.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. Listen, Katy just turned 40 years old. Yeah. All right. Katy's been having hits for 17 years. Katy has 2, of the biggest selling female singles of all time. Top 3, top 5 with Firework and Dark Horse. Katy has a diamond album and 7 diamond singles. Katy has toured the world and sold, millions of tickets. Katy has, had 13 number 1 records, 11 number 1 records at top 40 radio. Mm-hmm. At the end and she came out before Instagram and before the streaming era. So one would agree that, she's done it all.
Yeah, it's hard.
So, she still has a voice and she still has something to say. So she wants to make music and I'm always going to be there to support her. And I believe in everything she does. I think her album is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I think we have massive hits on it.
Okay.
And you know what? We came out the gate a little shaky. I think there was some backlash for her reuniting with Dr. Luke, which was my desire and my recommendation for her to go back in the studio with Luke.
Okay.
Because Luke is a dear friend.
Okay.
And, you know, all the stuff he was accused of is actually not true. So I just thought like it was a good time to reunite them after 10 years of not working together. And every single he's ever done for her was #1. And the press just didn't react favorably. And they basically tried to assassinate him and her. But we're very excited about the record we made. She obviously, you know, put out amazing singles and videos, and now she just launched a tour, and every tour date's selling out.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And she sold her catalog for the press is saying $250 million. The
Right.
biggest catalog sale for a frontline artist, more than what Justin Bieber sold his catalog for. So at the end of
Double.
the day, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I think he was at 200 or
Oh, was he? I thought it
225.
was 150.
I think she's 225.
Okay.
All right. So it was, well, to be specific, since he wants to go about numbers and wants to play accountant instead of a goddamn A&R. Justin Bieber, I believe, sold his catalog for $200 million. She sold hers for 220, okay, or 250. Who cares? The fact of the matter is, yes, she has 7 #1 songs. She has made history as like, well, and I guess she matches Michael Jackson as like having the most #1 singles off of one album, which was the Teenage Dream record. Well, yes, was the biggest record of her career. But how long ago was that? That was over a decade ago. Sir, you have to realize you're in 2025. So I'm glad you can sit up here and play accountant. You can bring up all these numbers, how many records she sold. Nobody's discounting all of that. The fact of the matter, and then you up in there saying, oh yeah, well, Dr. Luke was accused of all these things, which wasn't true. Were you in the room when he did allegedly the things he did with Kesha? So for you to sit up in here and try to speak on something that you are not privy to because he's a friend of yours, which already shows your bias towards the matter on which team you rely on, you basically screwed Katy. So now he wants to come out and say, oh yeah, it's my fault. But then again, when the Katy cast heard about this and slaughtered your ass on social media, try to backpedal and pussy pop and say, oh, I lied and all this other shit. But then here's the thing. So I believe Rolling Stone reached out to him to get his thoughts on this whole situation. And I was trying to look for the quote, but I think he said something or another that, oh, you must be bored, have a good day or something. I'm paraphrasing in that. But it's like, how are people bored and bringing it up? See, now here's the thing. When you get in this social media space and you go over here and you start doing interviews and you start saying the things that you say, you have to realize that once you put it out in the ether, people are going to watch your video. They're going to make comments on whatever the situation is, and they're going to respond. So for you to sit because you're used to being in the background and you're not in the forefront, you're going to have to deal with the repercussions and the backlash that comes from, you know, a lot of people. But I want to see something, because I want to see what did people say in the comments over on YouTube. Shout out to the Manager's Playbook, because that's where the interview comes from. So I want to give shout outs to the people. Yeah, well, it looks like for a lot of people sitting there talking about that, you know what, that it's pretty much a good interview. That in regards of the stuff that he said about Katy Perry, it is relatively a good interview in regards of like when you're dealing with an artist manager and what it is, what goes on behind the scenes with, where he was also talking about like digital numbers on songs and how I think they be cooking the books and all those other stuff. So yeah, it's relative. So in regards of the stuff he said about Katy, it is a good interview that everybody should check out. I haven't fully watched the whole thing yet, but I'm gonna definitely check out the whole thing, Katy Perry stuff aside. But what my thoughts were on the whole situation to wrap all this up. So if you're willing to lie on the sword for Katy as to why 143 was a flop, which, you know, after, like I said, the Katy Cats ate him up in the comments, it basically proved that she's nothing more than a blank canvas to the mainstream label that she's tied to paint whatever picture they want for her artistry. Because they say, oh, she had a whole lot to say. She had a whole lot of nothing to say. Because I listened to the record and it's like, the music is dated. Yeah, just because that you were trying to replicate the success. And if you notice, he reiterated, she's turning 40. She's been doing this for 17 years. So what that implicates is, you've been doing this for a long time. You trying to see where you fit in this era because, you know, this is the era of we chew you up and spit you out. You're getting a little too old because you're a pop star and you're hitting 40. So then you already know the ageism shit is starting. So that's what I kind of felt with, which is what you always have to really listen to what people say and how they say it versus just the words that just be coming out of their mouth. So that's what I felt. It was a little ageist there. Maybe it didn't mean anything by it. I don't know. But it just felt like, okay, she's turning 40. Where does she fit in today's climate? Because while she was over there selling her catalogs and doing residencies and making $25 million a season over on American Idol, all her contemporaries like Lady Gaga and so many others were out here making music and pounding the pavement and doing other things. Katy Perry out here being a damn judge on a tight-ass competition series and doing a residency where she in her mind is still doing shit that people like that she did 12 years ago, which was geared more towards a bunch of 5-year-olds. So you got Blues Clues, Zoobly Zoo, all that crap on stage, dancing sharks and all that mess when you in your mid-30s when you need to grow the fuck up. And then she out here putting out this music. The music sound like shit that would have been popping during the Teenage Dream era. Those times is gone. You haven't evolved as an artist. So what exactly is she out here having that she has to say? And said this was based over her daughter Daisy. I didn't get nothing about no child listening to that music unless you was trying to channel your inner child. But when you try to weaponize your own kid on the music, I was like, I don't feel it at all. It's a bunch of bullshit. So everybody's out here literally giving like these contradictory answers. And it's like, what is there to believe actually? So, you know, at the end of the day, I just feel like she'd rather be a walking jukebox regurgitating dated music that would have popped during her glory days than actually evolving her sound with other producers that weren't Dr. Pugh. And you have to realize also, once people make their mind up, that's it. Like, people already have their ideas in their head about Dr. Pugh, that whole situation about Team Kesha. You know, to me, I just feel like Chris is out of touch with what's going on outside his musical bubble. As I always talk about when it comes to that. A lot of these people that work in the industry, a lot of y'all are so caught up in that bubble that y'all don't know how to astral project yourself outside of that bubble and see what the people are thinking. Social media is a whole nother game versus what y'all thinking is working well on the litmus test in your little, you know, studios. When y'all coming up with, who do you think this artist should work with? What will work? What won't work? Dr. Pugh, whether or not he did or didn't do it, because they said if he's innocent, he settled his case with Kesha. I don't know what the details are. And sidebar, Kesha got a new album coming out because I was on Apple Music and I had, you know, they have like a list of albums that's coming soon. And Kesha has a new record out. She dropped a new single a couple of days ago, but she has a new album coming out. I already added it to the list of albums I will be listening to. So it's in the queue. So when that album drops, I will know. So, it wasn't just the press, he needs to realize, that tried to assassinate him and her, as he tried to say, Katy and Dr. Puke. People who were hashtag Team Kesha that were also fans of Katy's music, because I don't think it's just one or the other. There are fans who are relatively, they like Katy's music that are also listening to Kesha. They all came up around the same time. So a lot of us, I was listening to Katy Perry back in the day. I was listening to Kesha. I was listening to Gaga. I was listening to all these girls that came up around that time. Nicki Minaj, like all those girls came up, Rihanna, all those girls came up around the same time. And everybody out here still making music, except Rihanna. But she got other things that she doing. So she don't need the music, quiet as a scale. She don't need to sell her catalog to make a coin. She got Fenty Beauty. You need to sell your dated ass songs in order to be, you know, have financial stability. Because quiet as a scale, what Orlando Bloom out here doing? I'll wait. Waiting for another Lord of the Rings movie to get made. So, as I stated before, once people make their mind up, there's no changing it. So for him to take this snarky comment, you must be bored, you the one that put it out here. So it's going to be catnip for the press, obviously, to elaborate further on, and the fans are going to say what they're going to say. So remember, when you put things out there and people take a snippet, expect the backlash. But I didn't want to just give y'all a snippet. I wanted to have y'all hear the whole clip, so that way you can pretty much get an idea relatively of what he said in that whole situation. So I definitely want to hear from you guys in regards of what Chris had to say. Do you actually agree with his assessments on what he said about Katy Perry? He said that, look, he takes full responsibility for her working with him. And she made it seem like she was all for it. So she agreed. I would have just been like, okay, we need to push like here's the thing. If Katy was trying to take an old sound that worked for her and evolve it and show that, I have grown and I'm mature, because she and Lady Gaga's around the same age, but except Katy's a year older. So the difference between Mayhem and the difference between 143, Gaga took a sound that worked for her, the Born This Way, the Fame Monster, that whole sound, and it shows when you listen to Mayhem, which I will say has grown on me significantly. I love the album now. Before I was just like, but now it's like, I love the record. I just feel like it's basically a lot of those, she took a lot of the best parts of that gumbo, put it in there, add a couple of new seasonings, and it tastes better. It tastes mature. And that's what she should have did. If you was going to sit up here and take that old sound that worked, that gave you all them damn diamond records and all that other stuff, you should have matured your sound. You should have matured your lyrics. You should have just showed that you have grown and not out here trying to just relive your glory days. So maybe you need to kiki with Gaga and ask her what her little recipe is, and then you can copy it, because, ma'am, you need a little help on your career. So I ask all of you, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right now. So, yeah, a lot of comments. Kelly said, that's messy. Look. Oh, you said she a Scorpio. Sailor Merman, look that up. Not to get too ahead of the show, but did you hear the finale lip sync song for RuPaul's Drag Race, starting the season off with Wait, no, I didn't hear. What is the song? You said her rival song. Oh, it's a Kesha song? Bitch. Well, look, based off of when I brought up the whole story about did Ariana Grande spoil the Final Four, it looks like, based off of the stuff that I heard, it's accurate. Because remember, in the last episode, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, it was a double Shantae, where you had Jules Sparkles go up against, which Jules ate that lip sync, no shade. Jules and, why am I thinking Saphira Crystal? And I think it's because Saphira was on Roscoe's and she just, they won the GLAAD award. So, Anya, them two went up against each other, and then there was like a double Shantae. Y'all already, I know y'all muted the last time. I'm not going to reveal it, but y'all probably already know who's going to get eliminated next week. So I think the Final Four that they said is accurate. That was spoiled for me on my other page. Exactly. Nobody's interested in her. She is, like, her music is so, like, a decade. Not even, because we're in 2015. No, 2025. 2015. 2025. So, yeah, her sound is, like, 15 years dated, in my opinion. It feels. Okay. She was a moment, and that moment has long passed. So she went back to Dr. Puke in hopes of getting another hit. Exactly. And look, her last records, what was it? The previous two albums flopped. So why she thought it was going to be any different? This is like, girl, you are a legacy act. At this point, just, not everybody is able to just have that career that continues to last as long as like a Madonna or whatever the case is. Not everybody is meant to last 40 years. Just go out there and do like In Vogue and the rest of these other girls. You got your big hits. Just do your little residency or whatever the case is. Sing your old songs for nostalgia, because you're about to get, like, your fandom is about to hit that age of nostalgia. Kind of like my generation, which is like elder millennials. We're in that whole nostalgia era. So I feel like her fans are kind of like transitioning into that part. Just sing your old songs, come out there and do your little greatest hits, and do a residency for the rest of your life, because, girl, that's what your career is giving. And he's saying that her arena tours is selling out, which I had to cackle, because here's the gag. Did y'all hear the story in regards of, they said that the Katy Cats is dragging the monsters or whatever the case was, because they said, oh, look, Lady Gaga's doing arenas. And what's wrong with her doing arenas? Because I guess they were trying to say they were throwing shade at Katy Perry for doing arenas. First of all, what I'm not going to do is shit on arenas, because I work both. I work arenas and I work stadiums. And I'm going to tell you the difference, because I am working those Black Pink shows when they come to Citi Field later on this year. And they're doing 2 nights at a stadium. Stadium shows are cute. Stadium shows, though, I don't particularly like them because A, you got to worry about a possible rain out. B, it'd be too damn hot when a lot of those situations happen. And C, if you go to see a stadium show, you miss all the nuances. I feel like when I listen to Mayhem, when I see the visuals and stuff, the Mayhem Ball warrants an arena. Arena is more, we house 20,000 people, but it's more intimate. You get to catch all the nuances, all the details. So if she got any kind of crazy screens, elaborate set pieces, whatever, you can see all that. And we are a well-oiled machine over at MSG. Like things that get moved in and out and the way our security and all of our team and stuff works in those places. Chef's kiss. We hear so many comments in regards to like they love how we operate over there. So in regards to that, I would prefer that she do arenas. And since when is arenas a negative? Like Kylie Minogue doing 2 nights next week. I cannot wait to work those shows. Gaga is doing 3 nights. I'm fingers crossed I get to work all 3. If not, I'll be good doing 2. But Gaga's doing 3 and Katy got 1 damn date. So do we need to do the math? So while y'all throwing shade at Lady Gaga for doing 3 nights, at least she's doing more nights than your girl. Cool, y'all better hope and pray that she can at least sell out the 1 shows that she's doing. So there's that. Now watch them curse me and make me work that damn Katy Perry Lifetimes tour. I was like, I already seen her in concert when I had to work the damn Jingle Ball. She was all right. So she started singing them new songs. Her last hit was longer than that. The Black Eyed Peas. Yeah. Wait, isn't the Black Eyed Peas doing a residency, or did they cancel that? I keep going back and forth. I need to check up on that. I think they did cancel their residency, but I got to check into that. Yeah, Shania Twain's doing her hits, and you know what? Shania had a lot of hits. First of all, she was like the only artist that I was just like, country music I was living for because it had that pop sensibility to it. That was the only reason why I liked Shania Twain. Meanwhile, Mutt Lange was out here hunching her best friend while she was at the height of her damn career. But she got she got revenge on his ass because her best friend's husband was the one that actually told Shania what was going on. And then Shania ended up marrying her ex-best friend's husband. I know, it's so weird, right? Country people just as messy. We don't get into it, especially when we get to that Beyoncé story, which is coming up soon. Because y'all be out here trying to act like y'all demure and mindful, but y'all just as messy. It's very difficult to keep that level of success. Exactly. Not a Lunchbox Top 40 artist. Okay. Well, no, not. I don't know if we can say VH1 because here's the gag. VH1, I remember even me working there, and I did work at VH1. They skewered older. MTV was more or less for the younger ones. VH1, like depending on like the type of, they played Backstreet Boy and they played certain things. MTV was mostly doing that, but VH1 always kind of skewered older, in my opinion. Like y'all was playing Matchbox 20 and a lot of all that other music. So I feel like it their type of demographic always skewered for like a more older crowd, like 30 plus. That's kind of how it always felt to me when I would watch VH1. I say, it's true. The new Kylie Minogue. Listening to her music was always superficial. The fame, while superficial on the surface, had some intelligence. Disco Stick is now a gay sphere. Yeah, well, we already know. I know. Was it Let's Have Some Fun? This beat is sick. I want you to ride on my disco stick. I always equated that with dick. When she said that, I was like, okay, we gonna ride the disco stick up in the club. So I was obsessed with Katy and Kesha when I was younger. I still listen to old Kesha, who of course was produced by Dr. Puke. I remember watching a Roar and Part of Me music video when it first dropped, but that's all she is now. Early 2010s nostalgia music. Talent, culture, and time decide when real icons are not Billboard. True. Because a lot of artists are getting to that point where, they still make the music, but the gatekeepers are still trying to control what we listen to. Katy tried to fill that with Peacock, and her ode to Dick didn't catch on. Yeah, I want to see her Peacock was so annoying. Although I was saying that a lot. but it was stupid. Well, because Gaga's smart and someone who takes her career and her artistry very seriously. Whereas, yeah, Gaga can be at times could be superficial, but not any more superficial. But not well. I feel like Katy is more superficial than she is. She's a jukebox artist, as was stated. Nicki, Katy, Rihanna, Kesha, Gaga, Adele, Femme Fatale, Britney. I learned English listening to those songs. I was like, what language you speak? You said you learn English. You know what? Shout out to all of y'all that actually, because I wish it was easy for those of us who would be like, I could learn another language, listen or pick up languages, listen to other music. But it's like a lot of people tend to learn English. It's like, oh yeah, I learned English listening to music or watching TV and all that other stuff. I'm like, well, damn. I wish the reverse could happen for a lot of us, but I was like, I can't retain, you know, why the Kylie drag. Unlike Katy, Kylie knows where her strength is, providing a soundtrack to gays, which with this administration, Kylie being disco. Yeah, Kylie goes where the money resides. Like but here's the thing. Kylie has also experimented with her sound. She hasn't always just been like this jukebox artist. Like if you listen to a lot of her other music, like yeah, Fever was an album where well, it was light years also. Remember Impossible Princess? She experimented. She also experimented with a lot of her different sounds, but then recently she has stuck more with um the dance thing. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, when she did, what was it? Impossible Princess was experimental. Golden, she experimented with country. Then we had X, which I love that record, which was basically like she was experimenting with electro pop and other different sounds. Aphrodite, shout out to Stuart Price, who helped construct that album. That was like one of my favorite records. Body Language, she experimented more with like American R&B, pop, that whole sort of thing. So Kylie has always been the girl out here who has experimented with her sound. She hasn't always just stuck to, what Katy Perry does. She has taken chances with her career. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. A lot of times people look at it as like, at least she took a chance and she did things. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, I do agree that Kylie she has experimented with her sound more. I mean, with her aesthetic and her sound more. Beyonce and Tina Turner have proved that age isn't as important as having something to say. Exactly. And that's why I like the fact that, Beyonce, I mean, what is she going to keep doing? Just regurgitating hits? At some point, you got to be able to stand for something in order to keep the career going. Lando was doing okay. He never really had pop star coin. He wasn't paid well for Lord of the Rings. I think he only got like 400,000. But yeah, because that was a career that kind of catapulted his career. I don't think I saw that, but I know Brad Pitt got a race car movie coming out that I want to see. Katie's downfall began when she championed Hillary Clinton. It was a read the room. Don't even get me started on her. I do not like Hillary. And the Brighter Days tracks actually help tell the complete story. I haven't listened to the new Ariana Grande stuff yet. No skipping topics. What y'all talking about? Oh. Oh, damn, they just filmed the finale. Oh, well, you know what? Um, I'm really hoping what they did with the lip sync is that it wasn't a live taping. No shame, we need to get rid of those. I feel like what needs to happen, y'all just have the old drag race girls come back and like have them sit in the audience, and then you can bring some drag race alum to fill out the show because you got enough of them. And just have it do that. Then y'all can film it in studio, have the girls out in a bunch of chairs sitting in the audience while the drag race girls perform, or you just bring back my girls, bring back all the girls of the past season that was eliminated, have them be in the audience, and then that's that. But the whole live shows, those were fun. But I feel like y'all spoiled too damn much of what's been going on with Drag Race. So get rid of the live shows. Because I feel like the fandom ruined it when y'all was doing it. It was cute to have like a whole live taping, but I just feel like y'all ruined it. You still disappointed Madonna. He said, I want to ask her, are you disappointed in Katy now after the 2007 Kiss FM introduction? Yeah, I prefer an arena too. I don't like the whole stadium. It's like, yeah, stadiums is okay. I feel like stadiums is for bragging rights. Yeah, we sold 40,000 tickets. Well, you can't even sell all the tickets because there are certain parts of the stadium you can't sell off the sides because where the stage and stuff is designed, you you won't be able to see. So stadiums is okay. I think arenas is way better. To me, you get to catch everything. And it's more fun to do arenas. Well, yeah, I forgot she's officially in North America, and yeah, she's about to come to New York on Friday, I believe. Yeah, because I had one of the security guards ask me yesterday. He was like, do y'all know about the, like, I guess he was asking, did anybody get vortexes that's like scheduled, whatever. Did y'all give us vortexes for the Kylie concert? And I'm looking at this old man, I'm like, you know about Kylie, but no. But I was just like, you can't judge a book by its cover. So I was just like, and he's like a big hockey fan because we were sitting there talking hockey and all this other stuff. But anyway, nevertheless, um, I was like, well, we got ours. Us working guest service on the side. So yeah, I got my schedule partially because now we got to find out what's the schedule for um the playoffs because the Rangers ain't going. But if you've seen how they've been playing the season, they're not going. But we got to wait on the Knicks. I think Jalen Brunson is injured. So we got to find out like what's going on with that. When they keep winning more games, that they're going to make it to the playoffs, and then our schedule be wrapped around that, which is an issue because I'm trying to figure out my schedule and how I'm work around City Field. So this is always the time that it's annoying. But I was like, I got my schedule. I'm working both Kylie shows. Long story short, then Rhymes also entire child, yeah, because she's out here laying low and spreading it wide with Eddie Cibrian when she was a married woman and he was a married man. He was with Brandy Glanville, who look a hot mess now. And I don't know what happened to Leanne's husband, who I always thought had a little sugar in his tank. Yeah, that's why I was like, that was the word. I couldn't think of it. VH1 was giving adult contemporary teas. My friends learned English from TV shows back in the day. Yeah. It's like it's easy for y'all to pick up English than it is other languages. No Shade of 143 is where you can afford you could afford a flop. I wonder how much money they spent on that. Like when Madonna issued Rebel Heart, it flopped, but Madonna is too big to where the industry and public don't want her. Well, the thing with Madonna already established her career as, you know what? She's taken a lot of risks with her career and doing all this other music, so she can go off and do other, experiment with her sound. And whether it falls flat or whatever, she always knew how to make up for it, and that was through the live show. Because the way she established her live shows, we knew we can go, even if them songs wasn't hitting, that she could make the show work in a way where the song serves whatever artistic ideas that she had. So even if the songs wasn't even a single, whatever, she sold us on it. And so the Rebel Heart tour, I have a love-hate relationship with that tour. And I think it's probably because I hated the way that they filmed it. I didn't get to go see it live, but I hated the way that they filmed that tour. Too much of the slow-mo, and it was just like the camera shots. That I cannot sit and watch that tour this day. So I was disappointed with that. But I like the song choices and everything that was going on. But yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I like the song choices. I never want to do a side view of a Madonna show. I need middle of the arena to see the screens and the main stage. I was miserable as a Rebel Heart side view. Yeah, that's why I was like, you gotta be able to get like a good side. I was upset because when they had me working the Disturbed show, the way they had me stationed was on the side of the stage, so I couldn't really see like the set and all the other stuff. So I was kind of annoyed with that. But I got to watch the show. But the way they had me stationed was like literally on the side. So it was like I could only see like the side part of everything. And then when Disturbed came out, because they had like two other bands that came out before them, they moved all the other stuff out of the way, so I got a better view. But for the most part, it was like to see all the intricacies and everything of the stage, I wasn't able to see that. So hopefully it'll be different this week with Miss Minogue. But we'll see when it all goes down. I'll let y'all know my overall thoughts on it once the show comes and goes from New York. All right, y'all. So let's move on, y'all, and let's get into our next topic, which is Camila Cabello. I mean, she is kind of boring, you know, part of this girl, where she's speaking on the fact of when she released I Love It. There was a lot of I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I will say that song did grow on me after a while, but I will agree. I was in that same category of people when I heard this song, like, okay, now you out here trying to be Charli XCX so damn bad. And so yeah, she is addressing the comparisons in regards to their career of how she was compared to Charli XCX. Then why is my picture so blurry? I don't know. Okay, now it's unblurred. I was like, what's going on with my photos? But anyway, let's get into it. So, shout out to Rolling Stone for this story. So, it said almost been a year since Camila Cabello launched her album CXOXO, Gossip Girl, with her hyperpop, left of center single, I Love It. At first, it was hated by many, but now it's become somewhat of a cult favorite. In a new interview with Dork Magazine Friday, what do y'all be coming up with these damn shows? Cabello admitted she felt hurt by the comparisons to Charli XCX and the negative reaction to the song when she dropped it. At the time, some fans of Charli claimed that Cabello was trying to tap into Charli's style as she started to roll out her own brat era. Charli even fanned the flames by mimicking a video Cabello posted to I Love It with her own I Got It in the background, which, if you really think about it, those songs do kind of sound similar. And when I heard I Love It, I actually thought about I Got It because I told you I've been a fan of Charli's long before this whole brat era. True Romance is like one of my favorite Charli records. So she said, it crushed me, said Cabello, who admitted that she ended up spending a lot of time on social media. I don't know how other artists do it because the negative stuff really depresses me. It was very weird, intense time, and I started disassociating, which has only happened very few times in my life. Now, many online users reacted negatively to the song's foray into an experimental sound, starkly different from the radio-friendly sound of her hits Senorita and Havana, but she said she was simply being myself in the album. Saying, quote, in the beginning, I was hurt and felt shitty about the reaction, but I felt like I'm open to hearing positive things that I like that now. I'm still processing everything. Even if nobody liked it, I'd still love this record because I only did it what felt great to me. But knowing that other people have connected to this music does make me feel understood. I don't know if I've had that before. The things I was writing about for this record are more complex and there is more tension, which doesn't always lend itself to easily palatable pop. Unless it's a song like I Love It, I guess. I do want to always push myself as a writer, though. Now, Cabello, who said to hit the road on her new European tour, said that performing the songs at festivals last year was everything to me. I've never felt like that before. It's not a career move either. It's a soul move. I know there are a lot of people excited about the tour, but really it's for me. And remember, she had that whole situation. Y'all had her performing in arenas and the shit was practically empty. It literally looked like you were like her arena shows literally looked about had the same amount of audience that would actually going out seeing this new Snow White movie. Like, where was the people? Where the people at? Where my people at? Where my people at? Like, y'all just didn't show up. And to me, I feel like Camila, yeah, you've been out here putting out these solo songs, but do the festival circuit, what you've been doing. You're about to do your tour over in Europe. I'm thinking that for the most part, the European audience is probably resonating with your music way more than in the American market. The American audience haven't really been sold on Camila Cabello or who she really is. Quiet as it's kept. In the beginning, when I was hearing about her and stuff, I felt like she was just some girl still trying to find herself and she's going through a bit of an identity crisis. So, yeah, I mean business now because you bleach your hair blonde and you start throwing a couple of curse words and you start popping your coochie and dressing half naked. You know, this is usually the MO for a lot of these girls when they want to go through their transitional period. They think, I got to slut it up a little bit. I got to curse. Oh, yeah, I'm not a little girl no more. See, I'm grown. Mind you, they pushing 30 and you got them out here doing this. But and I'm all for experimentation. I'm all for taking chances on your career and on your music if it feels authentic. And it's no shade, but I just felt like I wasn't authentically getting Camila from this era of music. Now, outside of I Love It, I will say this. you don't get a whole lot of hyperpop off of CXOXO. And I listened to that album and I listened to the deluxe. I felt like funny enough, halfway through those albums, I had to turn it off. But I will say, because it just wasn't giving me what I needed sonically and creatively. I just felt like it just wasn't working for me. But I will say that I did watch her concert that she did at a festival, I think it was in Brazil. Excuse me. Where there was like a live concert special that she did on Apple TV Plus. And me having Apple TV, I was like, let me watch it. And I thought she did a good job as a performer. Like the songs were cute. The little bicycle thing and the camera work and all the other stuff they were doing. It was like they were experimenting with these different little visual things. Like it was cute for what she's doing. And I realized she's still trying to, I guess, figure out what her thing is. And I feel like in this day and age in the music, you should allow artists to try to figure out who they are and experiment. Well, not figure out, because, child, there's a lot of money that's going around that y'all burning in regards to trying to figure out your shit. But if you're going to make music, let them experiment. Let them try different things. If you fall on your ass and you get up and you try something else, and let these artists be artists. But for the most part, it was like, yeah, it looked like you were just trying to see what was popping in what other people were doing and was just trying to pass it off as your own thing. Because it is a bit stereotypical that you got a Spanish girl. Oh, you need to do Senorita. You need to do more songs like that. And Havana. It's like, I'm much more than being a Latina artist. Why do I have to everything has to be mira music? Because like, I should be able to do other things besides the type of sound that you think, oh yeah, let me just lean more into my Latin roots. It's like, I can do that. But I like other things as well. And so let me experiment with other sounds and not just think just because I'm Latina, that's the only type of music I should be doing. So, I should wrap this up by saying that while she was hurt by the comparisons to Charli, she did celebrate the dominance of women artists in pop music, including Charli, Chappell Roan, and Olivia Rodrigo, saying, "It's been one of the most exciting times for girls in pop music. We're allowed to be more than the sexy vixen. We could be what women really are, which is complicated, layered, and a lot of different things at once. Pop music is so much more interesting because of that." And that's why I agree with, because people just kind of look at pop music as sort of like this throwaway, but I disagree. I think pop music is the one place where you're allowed to be complex, to show that you are multi-layered, to show that, you could be a multitude of different things, because in pop music, it allows for experimentation in regards of what it is you want to say as an artist, and what you want to, experiment with how you sing certain songs, how you approach the music, how you write certain things. Like you go wherever, like with Lady Gaga talking about like now, but she said in the beginning of her career, she was all about trying to be like, I need to be in control of this, and this. And I always said, no, the older you get, trust and believe, it's now about instinct. It's like, when I listen to this song, where is it pushing me to go, rather than me trying to force it to go into this specific direction? I'm going to allow the music. I'm going to feel what the sonically what the music is telling me, and I'm just going to allow the universe to just guide my hand and this pen to be able to write what it needs to write in regards of what the music is, where the music is channeling me to go. So I get on that part, but yeah, I still feel like in so many ways, like when it came down to Camila, I wasn't really feeling a lot of the music. Hopefully she figures out who she is, but I just feel like, yeah, she's still going through a bit of an identity crisis. And one of these days you will find who you are as an artist. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of this story in regards of Camila saying that she felt she was in her feelings in regards of y'all sitting here comparing her to Charli XCX? Now look, Charli ain't the only one out here doing hyperpop, and she is not the only one that should be out here doing that sound. But if you are going to jump into the whole hyperpop space, you have to be able to find your sound and what works for you, and not be trying to regurgitate what somebody else is doing successfully. So I want to hear from you all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, Blockbuster's coming back. Oh, you said in Europe. Can you imagine that came back to America? I was like, why people need VHS stores? I actually miss Blockbuster Video. I remember one time I applied for a job there and I screwed up because I said I couldn't work weekends, which I think I meant I could work weekends because it is a requirement. Weekends is the busiest time of the year. I remember my goddaughter's mother actually worked at Blockbuster. And I would have loved to have worked at a Blockbuster. That was like one of the jobs I would have loved to have done. Because like you get to work in a video store with movies. To me, I thought like back in the day, that was cool to be able to work in a movie theater or like a store that sells a lot of VHS films, and then people can ask you like, what's your recommendations? And you could just put movies on, of course, on the screens while people come in and they rent out films. But it was always the worst, especially like on a Friday when like the big blockbuster movies would come out, and then I would that would be the day that I would go with my dad to Blockbuster, be like, yeah, let's go get some Blockbuster thing. And the coolest thing also when I was growing up, I was so excited. They built a Blockbuster Video literally right around the corner from my house where we grew up in, because they had like a little mini mall. So it was like we had Walgreens, it was Blockbuster, and I think it was a Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. I can't remember, but Blockbuster was so big it took up the whole situation. So every Friday it'd be like, yep, we gotta go because new movie release day. Go to Blockbuster, see what new movies, but it was always annoying when stuff would be sold out and there'd be certain movies you'd be dying to see because you had to. It ain't like now where a movie goes into theaters in January 1st, and then by February 10th, it's already on streaming where you can rent it or buy it or whatever the case is. It's not easily accessible anymore. You had to literally get your ass up and go to the Blockbuster to get the new movies. And we had to wait 6 months, if not damn near a year, for that movie that we loved in the theaters to come out on at Blockbuster. And so it was annoying. And look, even when before Blockbuster, I used to do the mom and pop shops when you will have to go and you will go into those places where you would see like the really cool horror movies and stuff that was coming out in the 80s and all kinds of other stuff. I told y'all my Chud story. I was like, I didn't even get 5 minutes into the movie. My mother was like, turn that off, because I convinced her based off the cover. I was like, I want to see this movie, and begged her to get it. Went home, and then when that scene where the lady was walking down the alleyway with that dog, and then Chud came out from the sewer and basically ate her, and then the dog was left out on the street. She was like, you're not watching this. And I was little when I saw that. So yeah, I was big into horror even when I was a little kid. So it's yeah. This song instantly reminded me of Charli, and it felt like Camila was 5 years behind in copying alternative pop trends. That's what her whole album is. Exactly. And that's why I said it feels like it's not authentically her. You just cut right to the chase. I guess I was just trying to be diplomatic about it. Cult favorite, How. I'm still scratching my head as to why there is a solo Drake song featured on that. Yeah. I wonder if Hun and Drake hunched, because I'm like, what kind of bet that you had to do when you had got Drake on? Wasn't it like multiple songs that she had set him on, or vice versa? I applaud Camilla for being okay that she might not have success in her homeland. But look, that's why I said I would love that. Like go overseas to Europe and be like the Madonna of Europe. Like I have a huge career overseas, and then I come back to America and I'm anonymous. I'm like, bitch, I can live my life. I can walk down the street and mind my business. I can go to the Starbucks. Y'all leave me the hell alone. And then if I travel overseas, I already know now I gotta channel my inner A-list superstar, because over there they love me. But in America, you get to be like, you don't want to have like that success everywhere when you can't even leave your house. Like, I don't know how Beyonce and all them do it, but I would never want that level of success where it's like, I can't even leave my house. I can't go to the Target. I can't even go to the store and give me a cup of damn coffee without people all up in my face, or they sneaking their little phone up and recording me, or they went, can I get your autograph? It's like, can I scratch my balls in peace without you bothering me? But I understand when you out in public, you know what? You got to put on that face. Yes, I did see that interview. Well, no, I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I agree with him. And it's like nobody is. I don't feel like anybody is interesting in pop. I mean, if there is, throw it down in the comments. I just don't feel like the producers of today have that tenacity that a lot of the producers we grew up with have, like a Shakespeare, who else? A Jermaine Dupri, a Timbaland, a Pharrell, you know, a lot of those artists. We don't have those producers of today. I mean, there's a couple of them that stick out, but how many damn songs can Jack Atnall produce? That is okay. Can we move on to somebody else? Or, you know, we have Dan Nigo, who did Chapel Roan, Music, and Olivia Rodrigo. So yeah, I don't feel like there is, but to be honest, it's like I do agree. It's like, but here's the thing. Timbaland was hot back in the day. He was hot in the 90s and the 2000s, even somewhat in the 2010s. But I don't know. You can't be, couldn't he be throwing shade, especially when Justin Timberlake album flopped? And did he produce that? So Timbaland, you had it back in the day. We was living back when you did Aaliyah, and you were with everybody under the damn sun. Speaking of which, I did Tom Segura's comedy special last night, and he had an opening act. Shout out to Redman. I was not expecting Redman to come out and do his hits, but he turned it out. You might see some clips and stuff on social media, but we had a real strict policy. Like, I was on everybody last night. Like, nope, you cannot film, you cannot take pictures. And I seen people trying to sneak. I was like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Like, I was on everybody. I was on them like a hawk. And I know management was like, yeah, let us know. By the time y'all get up in there, they'll be done. So I was like, no, I got it. For the most part, everybody listened. But I did catch like 2 or 3 people that were trying to be sneaky. One guy, even during one segment, had his phone on the side of between his legs with the record on, and I could see it. So you getting the audio, but you're not getting the video. So you get his friend leg, and then he's recording. And and he thought I didn't see him. So I got up, went up them steps. Turn that off. Turned it off. Like, I was not playing. And they was look, I'm trying to save y'all, because if I call management, they're gonna pull you out, and they tell me they will eject you, because a lot of times when it comes to comedy shows now, things end up on social media. Context is taken out of place with certain things. And people, oh, they need to be canceled because they said this, they said that. I was like, stop it. It's comedy. Let people do their jokes if it's funny. And I was cackling because them shits was funny. Him and the other opening acts, they had Chris Stefano was the opening act, and then they had another guy. It was an old Italian dude. I can't remember his damn name, but the jokes he was telling about New Jersey had me cackling. But anyway, but yeah, I heard about the whole Timbaland thing. I haven't watched it, but I do need to watch it. But I do agree, his stuff is a bit dated. And I was even saying that, like, when he produced Hard Candy, I was like, Madonna jumped on that whole Timbaland bandwagon way too late. And in my opinion, I felt like her stuff with Pharrell was way better. And to me, Pharrell still be out here producing stuff and giving us different sounds and things. He's still pushing himself. Timbaland stuff, you hear it, it's like, okay, this shit was hot like maybe 10 years ago. Ain't nobody trying to check for Timbaland these days, but we don't take away from what you've contributed to the culture. But Pharrell's still out here being creative. I mean, hello, he did the one song he did on Cowboy Carter, one of my favorite songs off the album. The way they took Pharrell and Robin Thicke to court, yes, they deserved their coin, but the verdict opened all these phony. Do you feel like it's the same one with Miley Cyrus and that whole situation? Yeah, I do miss Blockbuster too. Blockbuster was the shit. But then again, Blockbuster was one of those facilities that started to take away from the mom and pop shops. But I didn't understand all of that when I was a kid. Now I understand it. I just thought, oh yay, video store, let me go rent some stuff. I didn't know the politics that was going on behind, you know, when you have like these major, which a lot of people a lot of these corporations thumb their nose at the mom and pop shops and stuff until they started to all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon. And then they got up in there. Then they started selling Blockbuster popcorn and all that other stuff. And I used to get the popcorn. I'm not innocent. Sure, they hunched. She has one song feature with him and one song that, I mean, look, Drake got a nice piece. I wouldn't throw him out of bed. I seen them nudes. And he said, a whole lot of nothing for a minute and a half on her out. Okay. Timbaland's career went downhill once he started bullying Brit. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. No, I think his career went downhill long before that. And shout out to Brittany because she worked with Danger, his protege. That's why I'm glad Tate McRae's producers copy his sound and don't give it. Okay? And Tate, main producer, is his protege. Oh, Ryan Tedder produced a lot of her stuff. Can you imagine if he did Nelly Furtado and made a modern Loose where Timbaland couldn't evolve Loose sound? I would like her to go in that direction too. Like we need to do a little. We need her Loose era. Shout out to Nelly, the mom and pop shop. Sure did in the back. So how you didn't? How you knew? Mhm. Oh yeah, they definitely had the porn in the back with the little curtain. I remember, and I couldn't go back there. Although one time when I was a little kid, because I was a devious child. I tried to sneak back. I was always doing some stuff. Like people will tell you, especially like if I was to ever go back to, oh, you was bad. You was a bad kid. I was like, okay, that was then. I've sought redemption. I've turned over a new leaf. I am no longer, I am not of my past. I'm saying all that BS. They be saying, but yes, I've evolved as a human. All right, y'all. So now let's move on and stop moving on from our reminiscing of Blockbuster, since those were the days. And let's get into this. Kelly Clarkson T. So she did an interview. I don't know. Sometimes I'd be surprised at how I be playing certain clips, but of people's stuff, they don't be coming after me with the monetization. But I will say this. Look, I'm helping y'all get a little promotion up in these streets. So yeah, Kelly Clarkson is opening up about how her being the first ever winner of American Idol and how it was a lonely road for her for several years as, other stars in the music industry thumb their nose at her over this whole thing with American Idol. So for those of you who are not aware of how things were in those days, when American Idol first came out, it was the old school way of doing things was you had to go, I guess, play in some bar or whatever the case is. And because we didn't have social media, excuse me. So you would have to play somewhere, a talent show, a mall, go on some little or drinky dink audition, or even, playing a guitar or something in a bar like Mercury Lounge or something other. Because, me coming up, that's where I would do like certain things where I would play at. And I have done Mercury Lounge. Oh my God. I'm having a flashback literally from that. That's back in the days when I went as Gemini Phoenix. Yeah, there's a whole story behind that I have to tell you another time. But these were, when you had to go out and pound the pavement and do all these other things, that's how you was put on. And then with the hopes of an A&R or something that would come and see you and offer you a deal and all that other stuff, or you would send your tapes or whatever to a label, and then you would get the meeting and the contract and all this stuff. So those are the old school ways. Now it's like y'all can post stuff on TikTok, y'all can post stuff on YouTube, you can post stuff on Instagram and instantly become famous. But back then, when you had American Idol, that was a new way to discover talent. And of course, you had your people who didn't come up that way that thumbed their nose at the likes of a Kelly Clarkson because this was a new way for her to come in. And sidebar, I actually, once upon a time, let me tell y'all, I actually was going to go audition for American Idol, but I got scared and chickened out. That's a fun fact. I never told nobody that story, but yeah, I got to the place, was about to go and couldn't do it. I don't know, I got nervous. Or maybe it was because I was I'm thinking that there was going to be a Simon Cowell type, like, what if they laughed me out the room? One of the cases, but anyway. So she went and did an interview with Kylie Kelsey. Oh wait, is she related to Travis Kelsey or one of the other Kelseys? Because her name is Kylie Kelsey. Not Gonna Lie podcast, which came out on Thursday, March 27th. The singer revealed that some of her now peers initially judged her for getting her start on Idol, something that wouldn't be so ironic if some of those same stars didn't end up serving as coaches on offshoot competition series The Voice. She said, I had no one. I was the first winner. It was hard. People were really mean. And unlike, I wish she would have just named them. But of course, Kelly is a Southern Belle, who I actually met her when I was in, and this is when she was that no good ass husband of hers. It was her, there was another female friend, and the husband was there. And this is around the time when I was in LA and I worked in Century City, and I ran into her. And I saw she was in the Shake Shack. And she was ordering food and all this other stuff, and she was sitting outside because they have like a little outside area. So That was like around the time when I met Kelly Clarkson, and she's lovely. So she said, yeah, people really mean. People that were really mean have been coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, hated talent shows, and they ended up being on The Voice. Now, Clarkson won, as you know, season 1 of American Idol in 2002, a victory that propelled her to a successful career in music, marked by 3 Billboard Hot 100 top being hits and 3 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 so far. Ever since the flagship show premiered, numerous other competition series inspired by Idol have sprung up over the years, one of which, The Voice, saw Clarkson stepping into the coaching role for seasons 14 and 21, and then season 23. But while televised talent shows are all the rage now, are they really though? Because one of the things I do realize, one of the things I will say I wish they would bring back, I wish they would bring back X Factor. I know it didn't work around the time they had it on because Britney and them was a part of it, but I feel like if you bring back X Factor, which is like anybody of any age can perform. So it's like, because we know it's like they want you to be of a certain age when you do American Idol and The Voice. But I would love for them to bring X Factor back when you can get, where's the next Susan Boyle? Or somebody who's like 45, 50, 60 years old who has a great voice that could use a record deal. There's room for everybody, in my opinion, in this music space. I hate when people always feel like you have to be of a certain age in order to put out music. So, yeah, she said when a while is all the rage, the Grammy winner added that 20 years ago, people were really cruel at first, saying they didn't like it. I took the industry kind of by storm, the talent shows. It was a very unlikable thing in the industry concerning the populace. Now there's so many. One advantage of starting out on Idol was Clarkson's ability to empathize with the contestants back when she was a coach of The Voice, saying people like us who have been there in the audition process and just being so judged instantaneously on maybe not your best performance, but you know you can do better, is a grueling thing. And it's unforgiving in a lot of ways and a lot of pressure for these artists that I don't think a lot of artists that sell tons of records will be able to handle. And that's why I was like, and this is why I've always said, when it boils down to it, I've always felt that if you're going to hire judges to be on these type of shows, I've always said the direction you should go with, and I guess maybe that's what they're trying to do in American Idol by having Carrie Underwears up in there. Which, shout out to Orville Peck with his little shady comment about her on Sip or Spill. I agree in the fact of like, I would rather a Kelly Clarkson judge me than a Gwen Stefani or a Christina Aguilera or an Alicia Keys or a Reba McEntire. Because y'all don't know what it's like to be in the shoes of those people. That's why, like, I'm not so mad about the direction of Project Runway now, because I would have loved for Tim Gunn to come back with Heidi Klum. However, they have Christian Siriano coming back as a mentor. So he's going to be filling the shoes that are no longer going to be filled by, or the loafers, I should say, that Tim Gunn once filled. And having someone who has been through the trenches, that understands that world and has won the show and is one of the most successful people to come out of Project Runway to judge or to mentor the future contestant or whoever's going to be that big designer, I would be here. I'm here for that. I would rather someone who actually understands that world. This is why I always say, like, when it comes to judging on Drag Race, they should have had a former Drag Race girl sit up there and critique. But Ruben wants to be the only one with the comments and making the final decision. And I guess that's her right. But I've always felt comfortable in them doing it that way. And I always find it funny, whenever something new comes along, everybody always thumbs their nose at it and always comes across being a hater and all this other stuff. And they'll feel away. But now, because they realize, oh look, there's money to be made. Oh look, it's successful. Let's copy. And then you get all these different reiterations when you get your America's Got Talents and you get your The Voice, which, no shade, but have they ever spawned Kelly Clarkson from that show? Like, when we talk about American Idol, I mean, not so much now, but back in the day, you can name a ton of people from that show that have had successful careers. In addition to Kelly Clarkson. We got Kelly Clarkson. Well, I don't know if the Gay Kid is still out here doing stuff. I mean, he did pop up recently. Ruben Studdard, Fantasia, Screaming for Hudson. We got David Archuleta's Hold the Mayo. Adam Lambert just finished his run over there. I think today might be is it? I think he's wrapping up performing in Cabaret, which Orville Peck is about to take over that part. So You know, there's a Carrie Underwears, who they got over there now as a judge, taking over for Katy Perry. Whether you like her or not, she's got a gig. She's doing some things. So there's always been some people that come out of that. I can't name now one person that was on the damn. Oh wait, Melanie Martinez. But actually, she had a career that I feel like got bigger post the show. But I don't think the show helped her get there. She kind of just did her own thing and just became a success. But for the most part, yeah, The Voice ain't it. But I am wondering, since we got to speculate, who was the people that was bullying her? Why am I gravitating more toward that? It was probably Blake Shelton, shady ass, ex Tina, because you know she got a reputation, and then you got that old not horrible ass singer Adam Levine. I would not be surprised if it was one of them three. Now, Gwen gives me go along to get along because she's very much the human centipede when it comes to her husband. Her head be so far up Blake ass, she could tell you what he ate 3 nights ago. So I'm thinking it's one of them three. I'm thinking it's either. I don't want to be so quick to go and say it's a girl because I don't want to always be so hard to windmill on Christina. But I definitely feel like it's probably Adam Levine or some damn Blake Shelton. But don't hate the player, hate the game. It's like, look, you do what you got to do to get your foot in the door. So I hate when people go and try to judge others on how they get their start in their career. As long as they got there, that's all that matters. And Kelly's talent speaks for itself. Because here's the true gag. So while y'all up in there hating on her, she could sing circles around all you bitches that have been judging on that show. Let's be clear, including Christina Aguilera. So I say all this to say, and you doing about 8,000 runs don't make you a yang, and 8,000 yang yangs don't make your ass one of the top singers of all time, because you can't beat Mariah, and you damn sure can't beat Miss Celine. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And I know those are fight words, and I got my mittens on, so let's go. My box of gloves. And I said what I said when I said it. So I want to hear from you all. Definitely let me know what you think. Who do you think was the one that was being a mean girl or boy towards Kelly Clarkson when, during the times of when she won American Idol? Let me know. And then ended up, because I guess that coin was good over there at The Voice, they signed on the bottom line, because at the end of the day, they run all their mouths with all this other mess, but money talks, especially in this industry. And you're making more money doing a TV show than you would in your whole record career. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Ooh, child, this damn Red Bull got me gassy. Allegedly. So Xena was very nasty and rude. Oh, so you probably thinking that it probably was her, right? Simply because Melanie auditioned with an acoustic version of Britney's Toxic. And look where Melanie Martinez's career is today. Tesla is missing. Oh, well, he probably is. Well, he is going broke. You know how much money he lost, and then transfer the whole Twitter thing to some AI thing. I'm like, okay, the criminality is so obvious. I can carry a tomb, Miss Honey. And you said Christina is still mad about starting late in the game. Did she start late? I think she's insecure about the fact that Britney was always and the fact of the matter is that she thought that her vocals was going to be enough to carry her. But Britney was like someone who was the complete package. And Britney could sing, but I feel like the people that, that old baby stuff, I feel like y'all ruined her singer voice, because y'all had her doing that vocal fry baby girl doll, whatever voice. I mean, it was cute for some of the songs, but she shouldn't have always been singing like that. And I feel like y'all did a lot of damage to her. So, yeah, it works in the studio, but you can't be out here singing them songs in your 40s and stuff in that same tone. Like, even Mariah Carey don't even sing her songs in the same register that she put her songs in. And that's another thing I think a lot of younger artists need to realize, that yeah, you could sing these songs on a certain register because you're young, but you have to realize your voice matures as you get older. So you got to change them keys. You better ask Miss Alicia, because she was out here, trying to sing her song in a certain register, and her voice don't go where she be wanting it to go half the time. So, but I'm like, damn, did Christina start late? I thought she started like her late teens. Oh yeah, but that's probably because the label gave it away to Kelly Clarkson. She wrote Miss Independent, and I will say she's mad that a strip reject, not a strip reject. Well, I guess it is a reject. Became a hit for Kelly. Avril was very proud. Breakaway was a hit for Kelly Clarkson. I even love Avril's original demo. I mean, that's happens. Look, that happens all the time. That songs exchange so many hands before it ends up. Like it initially was supposed to start with this artist, and it ends up with this artist. Christina, well, of course, duh. Damn, everybody's, saying it's Christina. Leon Lewis even did a good recording of I Will Be, a track for the Best Damn Thing sessions, and our recording was issued as a. And look, Leon Lewis got that horrible ass song as the theme song for The View. I can't stand that damn song, but they be over there eating it up like it's just a blockbuster. But y'all, y'all be happy with your little yang yang. Y'all need to bring back that other song with Mary J. Blige. That's the one I. But look, that's the song they want to keep going with. Let them go. Now, let's move on, y'all. And let's talk about Beyonce continuously being snubbed by the country music people. And now, I don't care what anybody say, but I truly believe that this is, whatever BS excuse, this is some flat out racism. And y'all not even trying to hide that ish no more. So, on Thursday, the nominations for the Academy of Country Music Awards, or ACMs, were revealed, and Beyoncé Knowles Carter, critically acclaimed country album, was nowhere to be found. That's right, after she was shut out of the CMA Awards last year, and she won a multitude of Grammys, it happened all over again. Now, indeed, artists up for multiple nominations include country music regulars like Cody Johnson with 7, Morgan Wallen, aka The Racist, who went and stormed off his fat, wide back ass, went and stormed off the SNL last night. Lainey Wilson got 7, Chris Stapleton 6, Riley Green with 5, and Post Malone with 5. Speaking of which, he's supposed to be doing I think it's a co-headline stadium tour, Post Malone with Jelly Roll. That's supposed to be more than likely probably be working that event too. Now, newcomer Ella Langley actually picked up the most nominations, nabbing 8 total, including Female Artist of the Year, New Female Artist of the Year, and Song of the Year. Now, in an interview with Billboard after the noms were revealed, ACM CEO Damon Whiteside reacted to Beyonce's omission, saying the following: were we hoping she'd be nominated? Absolutely. We love that Beyonce is in the country genre. No, y'all don't, he told the outlet. That's fantastic for all the country artists out there. It's fantastic for the fans. The more successful she is, the more we're bringing more mainstream people into the genre, which we want. Really? Because if y'all do, then why do y'all keep nominating the same damn people over and over? It's always business as usual when it comes to country. It's always the same fucking people, which is Chris Stapleton, Lainey Wilson, Morgan Wallen, Cody Johnson, Riley Green, Post Malone, who once upon a time started out doing hip-hop. And then when that music wasn't doing what needed to be done, he went over there to the country space, and y'all welcome him with open arms. But I guess that's because white people, since y'all colonized country music, if we're going to talk about the history of it, yeah, country music started out, folk music. The banjo was actually something that came over from Africa that was brought to the United States. Check your history. And, Beyonce comes in and does this thing in a musical genre that she is not necessarily, that is just something that y'all thinking she playing around with. It's not something she takes seriously. But white folks come over there, y'all come up, and this is why I say, you know what? No shade, but I feel like we need to start gatekeeping our stuff. Why are we so easy to let blue-eyed soul people come over into R&B and hip-hop, but then when it needs to be reciprocated on the other side, y'all want to put up all these damn guardrails? That's what I don't understand. We always loving and understanding and forgiving. But then white people get spooked and nervous. Not all of them, but some. Because I hate that I always have to go some, not all. If it don't apply, let it fly. That's what I always say. That's like when somebody jumped in my comments the other day when I posted something about Cubans voting for Trump. And situations happen. Not all Cubans. Bitch, did I say you? If it don't apply, let it fly. If you're not the one that voted for Trump, you don't need to come in my comments talking about you didn't vote, because it makes you sound guilty. And everybody don't always have to point out every little thing. If you are not of those people, then if it don't affect you, you don't need to speak on it. But a head dog will holler when it comes to people. And I understand you got to overcompensate. But that's not a me issue. That's a you issue. That's something you got to work out with your therapist and with your pastor or whoever you worship or whoever it is that you give, spill your tea to. So they went and all said, so he also speculated why she didn't receive any nominations, especially after doing so well at the Grammys, saying with Billboard pointing out that the Grammy voting pool includes people from all genres, while ACM voters are primarily in the country space, saying, I think more likely they're going to be voting for artists that they've got relationships with and work with on a regular basis and that are in the country music business 365. Saying, we love to have Beyonce on the show. She has an open invitation to be on the ACM stage anytime she wants to. So y'all want her up there tap dancing for y'all and giving y'all a full-on performance, but she's not good enough to get a damn nomination. Why the fuck am I going to come up there in my little outfit and give y'all a full medley of my country hits, but you're not going to acknowledge me and give me in the same room? So y'all want the ninjas to get up there and tap dance and shuck and jive like you see all these other coons and buffoons that be doing, but you want her to get up there and do it? No. Beyonce got other things to do. She out here about to go on this damn stadium tour, which, no shade, and I've said this many a times, I don't understand why Cowboy Carter's getting a stadium tour. That shit should have been relegated down to an arena. And that's not the downgraded situation, but that album does not warrant an area where 40,000 people need to be watching you at a damn stadium. That should have been, like, that album. The album has an intimate vibe. It needs an intimate setting. So I'll say arenas because it's like you could still house way more people than you would if you did a theater setting, like what Madonna did with Madam X, where she kind of did more like a theater tour. But I do agree, you know, in the sense on my side, not necessarily what they're saying. They say that the Grammy pool is open, and I think Beyonce does have a better relationship with the Grammy people because she has over 3 dozen Grammys, I think, at this point. So more people are going to give, you know, kudos to Cowboy Carter and she'll win in that context. Whereas in the country music space, what they're saying is that they're very cliquish, that they're only going to work within the people that they're used to. Hence why the same people that I mentioned earlier continue to get nominations. And so it's easy for y'all to go out and give a Morgan Wallen his racist, drunken ass that like throwing chairs and things and damn near hitting police. Y'all forgot about that story? And then having a little temper tantrum over there on SNL last night. It's easy for y'all to get his wide back ass a bunch of damn country awards for being a moron. But Beyonce got to damn near jump through hoops and walk on fiery coals in order for her to get acknowledged. So she don't need y'all. And this is why I keep telling y'all when it comes to these artists that awards are awards. If you love what you do and you are an artist, the most important thing for you should be, I make music. I'm here to tell a story. If you like it, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. Then if you don't like this direction I went with, I got Renaissance, I got Lemonade, I have Beyonce, I have Dangerously in Love, I have B-Day. You can go and listen to all the other stuff that I've listened to. You can keep Sugar Mama on repeat for like 8 hours a damn day. I don't care. But I'm out here pushing the envelope. I'm out here doing what I need to do for my people. I'm educating my people about the history of country music and doing country music my way. Now, if the industry don't want to accept that, that's great. Because I'm sure there's other people out there that are dealing with the same thing where it's like they're trying to push the genre of country music. There's so many people jumping into it. And if y'all go and give Chapel Roan, if y'all don't feed her, coming out with her with that same energy that y'all doing Beyonce, then my assessments prove right that, okay, it's easy for white people to jump back and forth in the different genres and y'all okay with it, but you more accepting of this white lesbian doing country music. But are y'all nominating Orville Peck in the same thing? He doing country music and he homosexual like her. So, but I guess because she's one of those girls that heterosexual men will want to stick their dick in, then it's easy for a chaperone to come into y'all little space and do the music versus a Beyonce and a Orville Peck. So I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story in regards of Beyonce being snubbed by the ACM Awards people? And, you know, even though she won her little multiple Grammys and stuff, including the Album of the Year, she being snubbed yet again. So I want to hear from you also. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Um, I was like, damn, I gotta go up. Like you said, Pink don't like her either. Yeah, and then people starting to dog Pink because why you keep bringing it up? Why you keep talking about it? It was a long time ago. Because bitches keep asking her about it. And if you gonna keep asking me a question about me and Pink, me and Christina, and we good now. But if you're gonna ask me about it because you didn't get the scoop and you probably don't be up on other people's social medias, then I'm gonna answer it. And I wish people stop telling other people how to react to stuff. If I'm going to sit up here and talk about, Christina Aguilera, I'm going to keep talking about it. Even if you ask me at 80 damn years old what our beat was, I'm going to get up there and say, I ain't like the bitch. She was doing too damn much. So, and she was off doing some real slick mess behind the scenes when we was doing Lady Marmalade. Brittany had a hairstyle. Yeah, and Christina's first single wasn't until the end of 99. Yeah, and the funny thing, they were from the Mickey Mouse Club, so I think it was because when Britney hit, they were looking for girls that would kind of fall within that same category of like what Britney was doing. So they were like, oh, look, Christina was a part of the Mickey Mouse Club. Let's get her. Pink is shaded, but the press will bring Xtina. Sorry, I'm with Pink. She did bring Ellie Reed. Kim didn't bring Craig Coleman. Maya didn't bring Jimmy Iovine, but Xtina brings her labels in on. Yeah, she was being shady. Orville Peck said there are a lot of gatekeepers in country music media, and it's so obvious. Bay has a Grammy, and most CMA ACM winners won't ever. Okay, and that's what Sheena Gravity said. It's like, look, I got my 3 dozen Grammys. I don't need y'all fucking tired ass country awards. I don't need to be accepted by y'all, but y'all will respect what I'm doing. And that's why I said, like, if you in this industry only to win a bunch of damn awards, then you in it for the wrong damn reasons. Depending that was disrespectful, the other acts. Oh yeah, and we the type, look, Pink is my Virgo sister, although she is what, the 7th, and I'm the 2nd, and Beyonce is the 4th. When we get mad about some shit or something, we will call it out. Like it was like me yesterday. I was getting on the bus to come home, and I don't know. I think it was like, is it the end of Ramadan? So I'm seeing a lot of Pakistani, Indian, whatever types. All of a sudden, they trying to crowd around the door to get to the. I said, the line is over here. What you not going to do is try to skip me because y'all big backs want a goddamn seat. I said, I will fight all of y'all. Like, I was in a mood last night on my way home. So I'm tired. It's late. I ain't got time for y'all bullshit. I literally will start swinging on all of y'all because what you're not going to do is skip in front of me. And then after the fact, I'm sitting there like, Chris, you cannot be out here trying to fight everybody. You really need to stop trying to act like you could be out here like swinging on people because you ain't trying to go to jail, especially on the damn weekend because you ain't seeing a judge till Monday. But yeah, it's like, why are you bringing your A&R up in there trying to be funny? Because it's like you want more singers parts or you want more this and more that. Don't come up in here with that shit. I believe the ACM Awards are on Dr. China about watching that. Don't even know where to find Dr. Phil's channel. So they can have that. And Dr. Phil, old tired ass. Exactly. That's why I say if it don't apply, let it fly. It's like keep it moving. If it ain't about you, move on. Not MAGA music. You know what's like MAGA music too? That did y'all see that commercial about the girl that was singing about Elon and saving them and the Tesla? I'm like, what is this cult music? I feel like literally I'm moving my my brains. I'm losing brain cells listening to this mess. Okay? Jealousy and insecure. Red Yeah, they can have their horrible little award show. It's like Beyonce is so beyond a country music awards show, and I'm not licking the crack of y'all ass to be invited into some shit. I'm like, I got bigger things that I got to be worried about. My husband, my kids, this stadium tour that I'm about to go on. Like, fuck y'all award show. Like Lil Nas X, Little Nas X said, "Fuck your kids, fuck your awards." I know Exeter before Britney. She was on the Mulan soundtrack with Reflection. Oh, you remember BB Flejo? Remember that album? No, I'm good. Anybody trying to be in the room with that tired mess? Did y'all see that mess? Was somebody left in the comments somehow that it was a child's fault that they weren't honest about their age when Austin Wolf got with them? I was like, we need to check we need to check you and see because Doc people test a little too much. We need to check your history. over there with your computer history. Because I'm like, what kind of child, what type of CP you got over there that you sit over here defending Austin Wall talking about, oh, he was set up, the kid lied about his age, and all this other mess. Like, you literally had videos, allegedly, of infants being assaulted. So what's that excuse? They can't even talk. So what age they lying about when you were a damn infant? The kids can't even wipe their ass yet. They in Pampers getting assaulted. But it's their fault too? I can't with some people. Like, sometimes you just want to go oops upside some people's head with some of the dumb shit they be saying. I know I do. But anyway, y'all, let's get into this Wendy Williams, how you doing story. So we got a little update on Miss Wendy, because apparently she is speaking out about her relationship with her son, Kelvin. Well, no, that's Kelvin is a baby daddy. That no good ass ex-husband of hers, Kevin Hunter Jr. And said that, even after, she said in that documentary that she had on TMZ, where she was talking to Harvey about the fact that, yeah, the reason why she is in the conservatorship is because her son was out here spending up her money like it was his. And it's like, yeah, you my only child. I'm gonna give you the world, but for you to go out and start spending my money on $100,000 on Uber Eats and over 100K on a freaking yacht that you wanted to have your little birthday on, and not even alerting me. So you taking advantage of the fact that, yeah, I'm self-medicating with the alcohol, the dementia is dimensioning, and you out here taking advantage of my stuff, which of course flagged Wells Fargo, and rightfully so, because yeah, I will tell you, as somebody who banks with Wells Fargo, they put a cap on a certain amount. I have a cap on how much money can be removed from my account. I ain't gonna tell you how much, but there is a cap before it flags the bank, and they're like, okay, what's going on? So I'm well aware of like that whole situation. But she said, like, after everything, she forgives him. And I get it. That's your child. So why would you wouldn't want to hold a grudge unless your child is Jeffrey Dahmer or, Yolanda Saldívar. Like, if you had one of those as a kid, I was like, you are the devil. So people recently spoke with Gina Lisa Monterosso, a healthcare advocate for the former talk show host, who was placed under legal guardianship in 2022 and announced her dementia diagnosis in 2023. Now, in early 2022, Williams' 24-year-old son and her ex-husband, Kelvin Hunter, were the subjects of public scrutiny when court filings showed that Wells Fargo froze her accounts after her financial advisor at the time, Lori Schiller, alleged that she was of unsound mind. Now, Hunter Jr. was Williams' power of attorney and reportedly took a large sum of money from her account, ultimately raising flags at the bank. The bank successfully petitioned a New York court to have Williams placed under temporary financial guardianship. While not specifying any names, the bank later said in court filings that it froze the funds because Wells Fargo has strong reason to believe that Williams is the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation, which we came to find out it was happening with that. And I tried to give Lil Kev the benefit of the doubt. I was like, ain't no way this little boy gonna be out here and steal from his mother. I was trying to be the diplomatic one. I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but we did have some people up here. I think it was Roro, friend to the show. We had some people in the comments like, that little boy out here stealing from his damn mother. But I was trying to be the diplomatic one. I was trying, like I said, give him the benefit of the doubt. Lo and behold, yeah, he was out here taking fistful of coins and spending it like he was balling, like he in a damn rap video. He thought he was 50 Cent on these damn streets. So it said that it reached a conclusion based on reports, or the Diddler, because Diddy liked the floors, and so many words like the yachts and all that other mess. So it said that it reached a conclusion based on reports of the financial advisor who was recently witnessed telltale signs of exploitation, including Williams' own expressed apprehensions, and from other independent third parties who know Williams well and share their concerns. Now, here's what Monterosso told people. She said the following: what the misconception is, what people have to understand is that Wendy told the world now that this happened 3 years ago. So that's something that they were able to get through. That will always be her son. unconditional love. And that's pretty much, it was big news to everybody. This is what Monterosso says. But again, this happened 3 years ago. She also notes that Williams recently saw her son when she was in Florida to visit her dad for his birthday, saying he was there and that was the best part. But I do know that she continued to communicate with him, and that's her honey bunny. And I was always saying that too. Like, after she did this revelation, especially when she went on Harvey's show, I said this. I was like, now, how this is going to be, because it's going to be a little awkward. I don't know. I don't think he was aware of the interview. He didn't see it until probably like we all saw it, and it ended up on Tubi. But I was like, yeah, I know it's going to be a little awkward when she does this interview, and now she goes out to Florida to visit her father for his birthday. I think he turned like 93 or 94. But when she went to go visit him, like, how is it going to be when it comes to her son? But it's like, yeah, sir, little man, you got to take responsibility for getting your mother caught up in this situation. You probably thought, oh, it's nothing. I can just, suck up all this money and throw it on things like so I could have this lavish lifestyle at the benefit of my mother who worked so hard for all this money. And yeah, she said, you know what, you're my only child, so I'm going to spoil you rotten. But if you're going to be doing all of this, you can't be going up and taking my card and just going fruitful and fancy free with spoiling yourself. Like, if you needed something, you could have asked me and I could have worked it on out. But who knows? Maybe she was in a state like she was when we saw that Where is Wendy Williams documentary, where she was dealing with a lot, the death of her mother, that no good ass bastard ex-husband out here punching Serena, which she knew for decades until, well, I should say years, because they've been hunching for 15 years. So, yeah, it's over a decade until he knocked the ass up. And then once Journey got here, when he was on the bitch, see, I was already aware of the cheating, or she would say the cheatation of it all. But now, once you cheated on me and brought a baby in the world like a little bastard, oh no, we done. You go figure out how you gonna take care of her and the other broad. And now he was out here trying to get his little piece of, but no, you got your piece of the pie when you was my manager and when we were married. You got your piece of whatever you need to do. Now go about your merry way. Since you want to be with that broad, since you want to go and knock her up and have the family that you always wanted, because I can only give you one child after my multiple miscarriages, and I have my miracle baby with Lil Kev, and you want to go out there, you want to have more children, and unfortunately I couldn't give that for you. Then you go do that with the mother broads, but you figure out how you're going to take care of her, and you're going to figure out how you're going, well, both of them, hers and yourself. Because we know that based off of what Kelvin, because that's the baby father, you want to struggle bus financially. So now in the documentary, Hunter Jr. did deny the allegations, said that during the time she was in his care, he signed off on all financial decisions and was always spending large amounts of money due to her extravagant lifestyle. Well, it wasn't just her extravagant lifestyle. It was your extravagant lifestyle too. You thought because you was her caregiver that, oh yeah, I'm financially taking care of her, but let me take a little, cut a little piece off the top. And by a little piece, it was a lot of piece. Because if it wasn't, then why did it flag Wells Fargo being like, okay, there's too much money depleting from these accounts. Something's going on. But he said he never took money without her consent. So does that mean you calling your mother a liar? Because clearly you didn't discuss all these other extravagant things that you was allegedly spending money on. So we know in so many ways now that Wendy is trying to get herself out of this conservatorship. She has been, from what I heard, that I believe that she is in the process or has already started trying to go out and get some new attorneys that can help her get out of this guardianship, which, those of us over here who are big Wendy Nistas, and I always told you Wendy is a mentor in my head. Like, she is the reason why I have been doing what I've been doing for almost 2 decades. Which is celebrity news, gossip, entertainment, all that other stuff, that she gets the help that she needs, that she gets out of this conservatorship. And what she does end up with once she gets out of the guardianship, I don't think that she needs to be completely taken out of it, but it's like she does deserve her freedom. She should be able to come and go when she pleases. What she should be signed to is a sober coach to make sure that she stays on the right path, and a financial advisor. Those are the 2 things that she needs. Someone who actually can help her with her money and doesn't take advantage of her finances. So she needs a financial advisor, she needs a sober coach, and she can come and go as she pleases. But y'all should not be having her up in there like she in Guantanamo, like treating her like she in Guantanamo Bay, because she ain't do nothing at a point where she need to be treated like that. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Wendy Williams forgiving her son? I was like, yeah, don't sit and hold grudges on your child. Your child did what he did. Hopefully he learned his lesson and he ain't going to do it ever again. But yes, keep him away from your money because the way he got you caught up in this situation, I would never let him near any of my coins. You really going to have to go through a whole lot of steps to get a little piece of whatever you need to get if you need some financial whatever. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Agreed. I don't know if I read that one already, but you said there comes a time when an artist is bigger than any award. Absolutely. I'm getting tired of Pride not taking these allegations seriously. I'm sorry, but we need to take it seriously. It's not just wait, who's not taking it seriously? Oh, you thinking like Pride.com over there when they talk about Austin Wolf that they're not taking. I saw Roro's comment. That's why I paused. But it was like, do you think that they're not taking the story seriously? I mean, I do them when I'm on this show, but it feels like they don't really say much and then they just regurgitate. They just add to their already existing article in regards of what's the update? What's the update? It's the same old update. And like I said, every month that passes, I gotta find new creative ways to tell that damn Austin Wolf story. A young man like that should be able to live comfortably for $100 a year on any American state. Yeah, I agree. It's just like you don't need to have millions of dollars. I work hard for my millions, but I'm not gonna have my child out here suffering and doing like I would never do that to my kids. Like if I was in a situation where I was a wealthy parent, I'll give my kids a little stipend. You be living off $100K a year, figure out how to make it work. You need to budget your coins, your apartment. You can live in a $2,500 a month apartment. That's taken care of. You just need to do what you got to do with your career. Like you always be taken care of, but it's like, yeah, your cap a year is $100K. Like I don't understand. Like you need so much money to be out here spending, to be living some type of lifestyle because y'all get so caught up in the pomp and circumstance of it all. And it's like, in the words of Jada Pinkett Smith in Scream 2, that's my money. I'm asking for your money. No. Oh, y'all out here thinking Wendy got a how you doing, child? But look, Wendy been how you doing in people for years. So it only makes sense that she would have one of her own, right? Who knows? But anyway, we have about 3 topics left for today's show. If you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered if you haven't already. Also, I will be putting timestamps after the live stream is over so that way you can follow along with the topics that we have in hand, that you can just skip through all the banter that we do on the show and just get right to said topics. All right, now without further ado, let's get into this Selena Yolanda Saldívar story, which this broke a couple of days ago because, I took a couple of days off. We bringing it up. So, I've been on this Yolanda story for a minute. Like, I've been doing a lot of stories in regards to like Selena and Yolanda, and I'm glad this happened. But yeah, her parole has been denied. So, Yolanda Saldívar was the president of Selena's fan club and Pow Pow, the American singer-songwriter, on March 31st, 1995. So, yeah, her anniversary is coming up tomorrow. Her 29th anniversary, because 2020, wait, it's her 30th anniversary. What am I talking about? Tomorrow makes 30 years she's been unalived. The board gave I almost forgot we was in 2025. The board gave the following reason to deny Saldívar's request. They said the record indicates that the instant offense has elements of brutality, violence, assaultive behavior, or conscious selection of victims' vulnerability, indicating a conscious disregard for the lives, safety, or prosperity of others, such as the offender poses a continuing threat to public safety. Saldívar, who's now 64, is serving a life sentence at the Patrick L. O'Daniel unit in Gatesville for killing the singer. Saldívar powwowed Selena in a Corpus Christi hotel room after being confronted for embezzling money from Selena's fan club and clothing boutiques. The parole panel denied parole this time, but has set her next parole for March of 2030, which is no shade, but Yolanda, you might as well get comfortable behind bars because you ain't getting out. You still gonna be stuck up in there. 2030 come, they're gonna deny it again. And if you know what's good for you, you will stay in prison in solitary confinement because you're not in Gen Pop. Because according to the people, they said if she's releasing Gen Pop, there's so many people that want to get their hands on her. And what makes you think that it's not gonna happen when she goes out in public? Because if she's thinking that she's gonna walk roaming the streets of Texas like nothing ain't happened, and there's not one person that loves Selena is going to go out there and be willing to do a bid on behalf of Selena. You don't think that's going to happen? It's like, no, you need to sit with what you did behind bars. And I also feel like with her recent interviews, especially with her family member coming out and saying like Selena was partially to blame for her own death. Like, are you kidding me? I feel like that could have also possibly hurt her. And then also the little docuseries that she did, I think was on Peacock, where she got interviewed and then family members got interviewed. So I feel like Yolanda never really took accountability for what she's done. She says she does, but in so many ways, it always feels like there's a little snarkiness or it's a but if this didn't happen, this would have happened. And then y'all try to paint Selena like she was cheating on her husband with some dude out in Mexico, that she was traveling back and forth from Texas to Mexico to see some other man, and we don't even know who the hell he is. Like, we need receipts. You sitting out here saying all this other stuff, and then y'all sit up there pretending y'all playing with folders of stuff that have information. It's like, okay, we're not going to do the whole fake ID channel reenactment crap because y'all want to give dramatics or whatever the case is, so that way you can make Yolanda look like she the victim in this situation. The bro was up in there acting like she was some deranged fan, like she was obsessed with Selena. You was up in there thinking that you was Selena. It's like, no, girl, you are the president of my fan club and you was running my boutiques. I gave you a lot of positions and you took advantage of it. So you was stealing money. I confronted your ass because you a thief, and then you decided to take my life and try to make it seem like it's my fault. No, bitch, you need a ride. So, speaking of Selena's husband, they put out a statement in regards of, the Quintanilla family and Chris decided to put out a statement and said the following. Today, we are grateful that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has chosen to deny parole for Yolanda Saldívar. While nothing can bring Selena back, the decision reaffirms that justice continues to stand for the beautiful life that was taken from us and from millions of fans around the world far too soon. Selena's legacy is one of love, music, and inspiration. She lived with joy, gave selflessly, and continued to uplift generations with her voice and her spirit. As her family and loved ones, we remain committed to preserving her memory and ensuring that her story is honored with the dignity and respect it deserves. We thank Selena fans for their unwavering support throughout the years. Your love has been a source of strength and healing. We will continue to celebrate Selena's life, not the tragedy that took her from us, and we ask that all who cherish her do the same. So yeah, there's that. And like when they said that she gave selflessly, clearly she did, because she gave Yolanda an opportunity that I don't think anybody else would have if it wasn't Selena. But because she was a good-hearted person, you took advantage of that. And you're going to have to live with that, sis, for the rest of your damn life. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to the latest on Yolanda, that she's been denied parole? So she's going to have to rot in solitary confinement for another 5 years until 2030 comes up, and then she'll be going she'll be going before the board again, to which I believe she will be given the same damn, sentence. No, bitch, denied. In the words of, who used to always say denied? There was somebody that used to always be on it. Was, Susie Orman? I think it might have been her. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I said, me and my mom was celebrating this. As we should. We should all be out here celebrating. It's like, yeah, bitch, rot. That's what I say. Rot in prison. Let you plan on taking your own life, which you couldn't even do when you was in that damn truck with the gun in your head. Well, it wasn't alleged. We seen the video. All right, y'all. So let's move on to this Matt Bomer story. And he is opening up about the show Fellow Travelers, which was on Showtime, which I actually liked. And saying that a lot of the stuff that was in the show, particularly those hot and heavy sex scenes that he had with Jonathan Bailey, which I remember when I went to go see A Better Man in theaters, there's a lot of kids that like Jonathan Bailey. He shows up in the Jurassic World trailer, and the girls, because I told you it was like high schoolers and stuff that went to go see this movie with me in the back. They got excited when they saw John Bailey. Oh my God, Jonathan Bailey! So the girls like him, even though he's homosexual. But I guess now these days y'all don't care. The fact that they see their favorite character in a movie, they're gonna support it. And I think it's because he was in Wicked and he was in a bunch of other stuff. So Jonathan Bailey's career is popping, and he cute. So we can't dismiss that. But yeah. So Matt Bomer is in this new Hulu sitcom called Mid-Century Modern, which is produced by Ryan Murphy and the people who did Will and Grace. I did watch maybe I think 4 episodes already. It's a cute show. Shout out to Linda Lavin. May she rest in peace because she plays Nathan Lane's mother in the show. Matt Bomer is playing like the ditzy flight attendant. And I forgot the black dude's name, but he's pretty hilarious too. Um, One of my friend Daniel Ardicio was saying that he came by Red Eye and he was there and they had a little kiki situation. And also, shout out to Coco Peru, because I'm saying now the story is making the rounds. Coco Peru actually had a lot of scenes in the show, but they cut them. And there's one scene where you see Coco Peru at this hotel because there's an episode where this Latino guy goes on a date with Nathan Lane's character, and I guess he's trying to look for a good, a couple of hots and a cot, and trying to get himself a sugar daddy. And in the background during one of the scenes, and I think it was the pilot episode actually, where you see 2 of the other characters where Nathan Lane's trying to get their characters to move in with him. They go to the hotel, and in the background, in the room, like in the office, you see a red wig, and I was like, "Is that Coco Peru?" Because she got a distinct look to her. If you've ever seen Coco in a lot of stuff, so word on it. So it was actually confirmed that she is in the show. But I hate the fact that they cut her down, and I think there is a story on it as to why her story was cut down. I got to look into that, and then I'll bring that back to you all. But anyway, so this he was while he's out promoting Mid-Century Modern, which is on Hulu if you have not seen it. He was talking about like how he doesn't feel like if Fellow Travelers was made under this current administration, it wouldn't get made today. And they got Emmy and Golden Globe nominations for, Matt Bomer did as this closeted government worker, Hawk Fuller, throughout several decades of his life, which is also based on a true story. So yeah, and there's a lot of quiet as it's kept, a lot of closeted government workers that are out here doing things. Then I see an article on YouTube. They said Mike Johnson out here got caught on Grindr. I believe it because he gave closeted homosexual tease. And then also, who did we say earlier? Mike Waltz was another one that got caught out here following somebody called Big Dick Bottom. That's why I said the log cabin Republicans, all of y'all out here, hating on the gays, picking on the trans, but low key, y'all be up on it with the grinder, trying to get, trying to get slutted out and flooded out by some homosexual. I hope they angry fuck y'all too. Like really pound their hole till the shit bleed. That's what I be saying about some of y'all. But then again, you might be into that. So he said, I'm grateful that we were able to get the show made. This is what he told out in his digital cover interview for Mid-Century Modern. I don't know that it would get made today just because of certain circumstances in the industry, the way certain things are tightening up, He says, he also went on to say, I'm just so grateful that we got in there in that window and had great executives who let Ron Nicewaner, Fellow Travelers showrunner, tell the story the way he wanted and the interactions with folks. I was perfectly at peace with the work we did and however it was received, but the interactions with people who've seen it and responded to it and the stories that have been shared with me are really overwhelmingly moving. I'm really happy and grateful that folks responded to it the way they did. Now, some media companies have been making movies in recent years to cut back. Well, look, I don't think we need to get into all of that. So I do agree. And it also reminds me of something that RuPaul said. There was an old interview that he did with Joan Rivers, may she rest in peace. And I think it was her In Bed with Joan show. And he was somebody like, look, I've been in this industry for over, at the time was 3 decades. Now I think it makes 4. But he says, like, yeah, I've been in the industry long enough where like it ebbs and flows. 1 minute they love us, the next minute they take 10 steps back in regards of like representation. So I feel like in this current situation, we are gonna see a scale back on projects surrounding people within the queer community, and our stories being told in a way that really highlights a moment in time in history. So, because, and especially in this current administration, when you have the idiot in chief, where he's made several moves interpreted as censoring LGBTQ plus voices, our history, inclusivity, and visibility, where he also decided to take over the Kennedy Center, which a lot of people started dropping out of that, which is a bastion of cultural and creative arts, and people working for his administration reportedly criticized queer programming at the venue. So they said, just last year, the Kennedy Center featured drag shows specifically targeting our youth. This will stop. This is what he wrote on social media. The Kennedy Center is an American jewel and must reflect the brightest stars on its stage, and from across our nation, from the Kennedy Center, the best is yet to come. Which, didn't he say he was trying to put cats in there and they dragged him? I was like, nobody want to watch that dry ass show. Like, this is what you're talking about, damn cats of all shows. Like, he's such an idiot. And if you're not an artist, if you're not somebody who's talented, stay away from creative stuff. You're good at ruining things. You're good at just ruining your life, your family's life, and other people's lives. Stick with that. Leave the talent to the people with actual talent, because you don't have it, sir. You're just annoying. So they said that his takeover led to the cancellation of a planned tour of Finn, a children's musical produced by the center about a young shark who wants to let out his inner fish. Nuh-uh, not want to let out his inner fish. And the banning of shows written by gay actor and playwright Harvey Fierstein. Yeah, I remember Harvey did come out and say some stuff about that. Bubba also reacted to the current administration's expulsion of DEI hires, which hauntingly mirrors the events of the Lavender Scare depicted in Fellow Travelers, and said, because they said on the 28th of this month, Gellar reported that an opera based on the Fellow Travelers novel had been canceled from its run at the Kennedy Center. The reports read, the composer, lyricist, director, and producer of Fellow Travelers, an opera based on Thomas Mallon's 2007 novel about the anti-gay Lavender Scare in the 50s, has withdrawn the work from the 2025-26 season of the Washington National Opera at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., citing concern over Trump's takeover of the institution's leadership. Well, look, if they did a musical based on Hitler, trust and believe he would allow, or Mussolini, they would allow them two to have us show up in there if it was up to the orange turd in chief. So they also said, so for those who aren't aware, the Lavender Scare took place during the 50s with Senator Joseph McCarthy and lawyer Roy Cohn, who is Roy Cohn a mentor of Trump's or something or another? I could have sworn he was. And Roy Cohn's a closeted homosexual too, in case a lot of y'all didn't know that. So, yeah, the Lavender Scare happened when Senator Joseph McCarthy and Roy Cohn led the firing of hundreds of thousands of gay men and lesbians from their government jobs for allegations of homosexuality. Saying it's really upsetting to have had a real lived experience of that, and to now see it really creeping up on all of us again is really upsetting. And they always said your history is doomed to repeat itself. And it's weird how like we get Fellow Travelers and now we're seeing this actually happening. History repeating itself. He said, I think the whole reason you want to be a part of something like Fellow Travelers, and the reason why art and what we do can have some import, is that you want people to see where you've come from so you don't go there again. So I really hope we can change course and get back to good. But once you get the asshole out of office, which he trying to, steal our elections, future elections, so we got to get up on that and be like, no, you are not going to be a president for life. You are not going to be able to try to cook things in a way where you constantly get your people to be the president. It should be up to people, as in us as Americans, to decide who we want as the president, and whether, whoever the choice is, that's what we deal with for that 4 years or how long you want to keep them in office. But no, We are not becoming a fascist regime, even though we are kind of falling in that direction. You're not going to sit up here and try to change our democracy into what you want it to be. Like, we're not going to continue to have this dark cloud over this country because we're going to have to hit a rock bottom for people to wake up, and people are not going to allow this to go on for too long. Especially when you deny veterans' rights, you deny people mental health rights. So if you're going to have a bunch of people running around in America with no kind of help or aid or whatever, y'all better be careful out in these streets, because if something happened to y'all, you brought this upon yourself. So then he also said that he discussed wanting to experience queer joy on camera, and said, I've done quite a few repressed characters back to back in terms of the LGBTQ plus characters that I was playing. If you go all the way back to Doom Patrol and the boys in the band, and then you get to Fellow Travelers and Maestro, I remember, I never saw Maestro. Isn't that the movie that he did with Bradley Cooper? I mean, isn't that the Bradley Cooper movie? I never got around to watching that, where he was thinking, oh yeah, look, I'm playing a homosexual, give me an Oscar. And everybody was looking at you, okay, you pretentious twat. You ain't getting no damn Oscar for this movie. You trying too hard. So it never, it didn't really do much of anything. You got your nomination, but child, you were just eye candy for the awards. So he says, I remember turning to my husband and saying, I need to do a comedy. I really need to do a comedy. So now, as I said, he's in Mid-Century Modern, which is a cute show. Nathan Lee Graham is the guy's name. I could not remember the name, but if y'all get around to watching, it's a cute show. It has its moments where, it's like Golden Girls meets Will and Grace thrown up in there. It's got those Will and Grace isms, trust me, because I'm like, with the little gay stereotypical jokes, but it's like, I love a good stereotype if it's funny. So it's cute. If y'all haven't seen the show, Mid-Century Modern, definitely check it out, because it's cute. It's a little, something you can just have on and just have a little calculate. All 10 episodes is available on Hulu. You would just breeze right through it and move on to the next thing. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to what Matt Bomer had to say about Fellow Travelers, where he doesn't feel like in this current administration it would get made today? Because, it ain't about the president, but it's the fact that everybody running around here scared because, they don't want to deal with a loudmouth bully taunting them on social media. Tune out the noise. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Matt Boomer can tell. He is good looking. Although when I was looking at him in Mid-Century Modern, I was like, why your skin looking a little leathery? Like, what you doing over there? What picture of Freddie Mercury? You better send me that. What he was doing? Something sexual? We know he got a big one. That's that Matt Bowman gives me for wait. Kelly said I saw it yesterday. Freddie was a freak. Wait, what's going on? I didn't see this picture. Oh, I was running around busy and stuff, so I don't know what's been happening on social media. That Bowman gives me for people who to think I'm a top. I think you'd be surprised. Well, look, who wouldn't want to throw his legs up to Jesus and turn that anus into soup or guts? I binge watched Fellow Travelers and went the whole series without realizing. Well, that was the thing in a lot of ways too. It was like Jonathan Bailey submerged himself into that role so damn good that it was like you people didn't realize it was him, but he ate that role. And I thought Matt Bowman was good. I liked the show. The series is pretty good. It was like when that whole thing came out, I was like, I was looking for it. Freddie was basically in a large bed with a bunch of homosexuals, and it looked like reminds. Oh, and you see how they try to queer wash everything that he was doing up in, when they did that damn movie, which irritated me. It was like, if you're going to do a movie about Freddie Mercury, we need to see him being a full-on homosexual. I'm not saying that you got to have him up here pop dividend and spinning like he voguing or whatever, but I don't like the fact that y'all try to play him. Oh, he's a bisexual and pushing him more or less towards the women's. Well, let me go over to Twitter real quick because we do got one more story, and let me see if I see this picture. Oh, usually. Well, maybe I can pull it up for y'all to see in case y'all didn't see it. There she is, Freddie Mercury having a sleepover with some friends. Oh, you know them. Oh, they was up in there doing it till the sheets stunk. Oh, somebody said, how many influencers saw this and borrowed the pic without credit in the last 24 hours? What the fuck does that mean? I've seen it on an insane amount of other accounts. Used to it by now. And first, somebody said, why do they all look exactly like himself? But isn't that the case? Like, look, we had a whole conversation many a times on this show how these men will get into relationships or 100 people that literally look just like them. Yeah, I'm like, that's the first time I've seen that one. But anyway, I saw somebody I saw an Omarion post. I was like, what's going on? Oh, this deserves some FCC complaints because what in the beat? Oh, they talking about Omarion titties. He got titties. Wait, hold on. I don't know if y'all seen this, but what happened? Omarion got boobs. I mean, damn, your titties bigger than Alicia Keys. Yeah, what's going on here? What is that? What is this? I put him in my mouth. And them vocals are another thing. Yeah, he put on weight. I mean, Omarion ain't been out here like really working and stuff like that. I mean, or even Act was like, yeah, he put on weight. You see them love handles on the side. He got a little gut. And he got boobs. But look, oh wait, I didn't mute it. Hold on, because I ain't trying to get in trouble with that. So now the girls out here reading like, got a little wiggle, wiggle, and shaky, shaky. Not move. But anyway, y'all, let's get into our final topic and let's talk about Adore Delano, since we out here talking about the LGBTs under attack. They out here going, coming at my girl, who's furious apparently and said that she's been issued a male passport, adding that trans people are a month and a half or 2 months too late to get their correct gender recognized on their documents. So she recently posted a video on TikTok on Friday, I should say, that is currently going viral. And she told fans that her name is now legally Adore Alano. She said, you can call me as such. So yeah, she changed her name, which I think is cool because it's like, we don't know you as your dead name, which I know what it is. So I'm not going to say it out of respect. But I'm sure, like, if you look it up, you already know Adore's previous name when she was going by her other name during the American Idol era and all that other stuff. But she was like, yeah, my stage name has always been Adore Delano. That's the name I've always been going by. And now you can all call me that when you see me. The problem is now is that, yeah, because of this current administration, that I can't, that I've got male pronouns on my freaking passport and things of that nature in my paperwork. So I do have the clip because, of course, I got to come with a receipt so you can hear from her mouth. So let's take a trip over to TikTok and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Just left the Social Security office. My name is now legally Adore Delano. You can call me as such. But it's true, you guys. They are not changing my gender federally. So my passport will remain male. Fucking wild. Because I travel outside of the country for a living. I'm filming my first movie outside of the country this week. So all my documentations that are federal will remain male. They tried everything that they could. I asked every question in the book. I filled out every piece of paperwork that I could, plus more. Just a heads up, girls. They told me that we're like a month and a half to 2 months too late, that they completely took the option off of the Social Security official website for you to even check the gender marker out. So, yeah, they're really out here calling us men, girls. So what are we gonna give them? I filmed Drag Race here 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago. This is literally in that building. Just left the Social Security office. My name is now.
All right. So you pretty much got the gist, but I was like, hold on. Why is Adore out here looking like a cross between Jessica Alba and Megan Fox? I'm like, sis, money well spent on your whole situation. So yeah, she is a fully realized transgender woman, but according to our government, she is gonna have to still run around here with male pronouns And, you know, there's this big crackdown that we have on trans. It's not only just the trans people, but immigrants as well. Like people who even come in here just to visit are being put through hell, which means we're going to lose a lot of money in regards of tourism, because we do make a lot, especially in New York. We make a shit ton of money off of tourism here. But, you know, the idiot in chief would know that because he's all about, you know, damaging and ruining things. And even said most recently, he doesn't care about the 25% increase on tariffs because everybody needs to buy American. Mind you, all of our shit is outsourced to other countries. So what are you talking about, dummy? But anyway, in regards to this, trans and non-binary Americans are currently fighting back against the idiot in chief's executive order that directed the State Department to only issue passports that accurately reflect the holder's sex. This is according to Reuters. Now, it was only 2 months ago that Delano happily posted on Instagram about turning in paperwork to legally change her name and gender after coming out as trans in 2023 and being open about undergoing facial feminization surgery, saying gender and name paperwork turned in, now we wait. Adora also said that she tried everything she could to think of to get a new passport with a female gender marker, but was told that we're like a month and a half or 2 months too late, and that the option to change her gender marker was already been removed from the Social Security website. But I should also point out, like I said earlier in the show, when I was giving y'all the rundown of today's topics, she's not the only person who is transgender and a celebrity that has struggled with getting a passport with the correct gender marker. Because we had Hunter Schafer came out, we played a little clip of it in a previous story that we did a couple of weeks ago, where she went and made a TikTok video to share that there is this reality check that, yeah, her passport has a male gender marker on it. And how she said the same thing with Adora. I have to work outside the United States. I'm going to different countries. I'm shooting a movie. Like Adora is talking about, she has to go out of the country to shoot a movie. And now this is what y'all doing with my passport. So it's like, why is it even of your concern whether or not I'm trans? Like, how does this affect you? What's this got to do with the price of tea in China? Is this bringing those egg prices down? Is it helping the economy in some sort of way? Is it bringing jobs back to America? Like all these different distractions that you're doing where you're blaming trans people and immigrants and you're cracking down on trans people and immigrants. What the hell does this got to do with policy? You're not passing policy. You're discriminating against marginalized groups because you can't even be a fascist correctly. Like that's how dumb he is. So Shaver had to remind people, like, it's not just talk. This is real. It's really happening. And no matter your circumstance, no matter how wealthy or white or pretty, whatever the case is, no one's excluded from all of this. And it's not just trans people that are suffering. All those people that voted for him, they're about to find out too that, yeah, y'all thought that y'all were going to be exempt from a lot of the things that you hoping it was going to affect the others because you feel left out and ostracized. Because, oh no, bitch, y'all about to be included in this mess too. And now they're feeling the pain. They're feeling the heat. And now they're upset. They're going to these town halls. They're dragging these Republican constituents. And they trying to bob and weave and duck and hide from the questions. And now you got the idiot in chief out here making sure he want to know which company you work at before he even answers a question. And don't even get me started on that old string bean looking bitch. What's her name? Pam Bondi. Oh, I want to hit her with a brick. Because this bitch had the nerve to come out here and say that she had the nerve to compare, because I think I have the story. Yeah. She said, vandalizing Teslas make you no better than the people who did 9/11. Now, you sit up here, people died from 2 planes going into both buildings. Lots of people died that day. Lots of people I know have PTSD, have lung issues, respiratory issues because of being down there on 9/11. I was actually supposed to go down that morning on 9/11. I was supposed to go down to the city. I never made it down there because when I came on the TV, they wanted me to come in that day for something or another. I don't remember. But I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm getting down into the city with all this other stuff happening, especially on 9/11. Like, subways was shut down. It was a shit show. There was no way I was getting into the city. And so for you to sit up here and compare something that you know nothing about, that you never witnessed, that you never paid privy to, that you were never in the midst of, You don't get to speak on 9/11. Bitch out here looking like the goddamn scarecrow. Why all these ugly ass clear people always got something to say about stuff they don't know? And then y'all just be pulling stuff out y'all ass for attention. Comparing Teslas and 9/11. That's like, we get it. The man gave the president $200-something million so he could run our country as the co-president. So y'all need to do good on y'all, your little payment. So y'all just pulling stuff out y'all behind. And of course you say that shit on the other channel. You go on Fox News and you say that mess because you know better. If you would have said that anywhere else, you'd have been dragged. And I would not be surprised if that bitch was getting dragged all over social media for saying what she said. But yeah, people need to bring it back to this story. People need to be aware that, yeah, it's real out here in these streets. They're discriminating and coming at everybody. And we need to be worried. We need to be vigilant. We got to stand up and fight. So she went on to say this, and I'll wrap it up. She said, I don't give a fuck that they put an M on my passport. It doesn't change really anything about me or my transness. However, it does make me make life a little harder. I'm pretty sure it's going to come along with having to out myself to Border Patrol agents and that whole gig much more often than I would like to, or is this really necessary? So it's like, yeah, you're constantly having to come out every time you travel. You're dealing with Border Patrol. Yes, I'm trans. Yes, I'm trans. Yes, I'm trans. So all y'all that be run off by, like, I got to announce shit. Well, if y'all didn't put these policies in place, we wouldn't have to constantly come out of our face and have to remind you and let you know, especially if I could walk stealth in the world where you can't even tell that what my former gender was. So now I got to constantly out myself. So shout out to T.S. Madison, because she said this. She said, this is why I've been trying to tell you, y'all should have been gotten this paperwork done, because she said, all my stuff say female on it. So she ain't got to worry about it. But yeah, it's like, y'all should have had all this stuff done a while back. But I guess a lot of people didn't think, because we already dealt with a Trump administration before, they didn't think that he would take this much of a route. And we have to realize is he's on his Petty LaBelle tour. Like, this is all like everybody who didn't vote for him, everybody who doesn't like him. This is him trying to go and be petty and use all this as a distraction while they rob all our country of its financial resources. So that's all this is. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of this moronic administration going in on the trans community and cracking down on, passports of people? If you were not assigned the gender that you were assigned at birth, they're cracking down on you, on the people. So I feel for the trans community right now, and hopefully this is just a temporary situation. We can move on quickly from this, because if this man think he's gonna be right with running this country beyond the 4 years that he's getting, because this is his second term, that ain't happening. Sorry. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Of course, what kind of question is that? Is Omarion getting older? I mean, all of us are getting older. I mean, yes, Omarion is like, what, in his 30s? Hold on, let me see. How old? I think he's in his late 30s. So, that metabolism, you're not out here. Oh, he's 40 years old. He was born November 12, 1984. So he literally just turned 40. Well, that metabolism is still metabolizing. So it ain't slowed down yet. But, yeah, if you're going to be out on tour and you trying to get out here and be shirtless like you Chris Brown or Tyrese, which I don't want to see Tyrese annoying ass with no shirt on. Put them shirts on. So, yeah. Omarion is getting older. He said, yeah, he still look good. I mean, I wouldn't kick him out of bed. First of all, I like a man with a little chest. Like, I would be sucking on them boobs, trying to get some milk out of it. I know ain't no milk coming, but I would do it. He's like, he aging. He's not as thin as he was. What do you expect? Yeah, not everybody's going to be able to maintain that figure unless you're out here allegedly doing that Chris Brown roller shoulder. But not everybody's able to maintain their weight unless you get a little help. And, with them clowning him on social media, he'll probably be like, damn, now I got to get in the gym. Maybe I'll get some Ozempic just to get a couple of the pounds off, but maintain it and tighten it up in the gym. Oh, well, you did say that they recently shot it over the week, like recently. So it would make sense that they would have Abracadabra as the song choice. That is shady. It's like, yeah, we go from Katy Perry as the opener and Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. Child, I would definitely be looking forward to seeing how they're going to turn out that lip sync. Because, you know, all the girls out here is doing the choreography. They got a full on backup dance crew, unless that is what they're going to bring to it. Oh yeah, that is true. I did post that on my social medias earlier. So, um, Richard Chamberlain did pass away. Well, what do you want to know? I did do a All Stars 10 spoiler. I feel like didn't I post that on one of my social media platforms? Yeah. On one of my channels, I did post a story on. Oh my God, where is it? Because I could have sworn that, yeah, I did post a whole article. I don't remember which one it was. I have to go to the channel for a second. And it was one of the, I forget which one it was, but it was a whole thing where I did a story on All Stars 10. Oh yeah, I think it was. Oh yeah, it was the story. You can definitely go on my channel. It's the RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 queen rumored to be on All Stars 10. That whole story with the 7.5 minutes, it definitely gets into who's the All-Star. I mean, who is the season 17 queen and the list of queens that are supposed to be on it. So it's like, yeah, it's what was it? Denali, Mistress, Isabel Brooks. Not Sasha Colby, Carrie Colby. Then it was there was a bunch of girls and stuff up in there. I think Bosco was supposed to be on there. Also, Acid Betty. Like there was a bunch of names that's being dropped out. First of all, they said it's gonna be like they're breaking them up in groups of 3, and then they're gonna cut it down to like 9 girls. So they're gonna have like different groups that go out every week, and then I guess they'll bring all the other girls together to do the full official season. You said not full season. Well, yeah, there's a story that they didn't film. They only filmed half the season, and then they're going to go back into filming. There is some story about that. I got to look more into it, but yeah, that's always been kind of the rumor that's been floating around. So yeah, there's that, y'all. Ew. Why Ice Spice? Child, y'all really want people to be like, no. I would rather Glorilla or Doja Cat before some damn Ice Spice. Not some damn Ice Spice. Shit, why didn't y'all have Lil Nas X up in there? I would rather him over her. Don't nobody want Baby Down Syndrome with that little orphan Annie wig up in there doing the first episode of All Stars. I did hear. I mean, I think we talked about that too. About the UK versus the World season 3 spoilers and who will be as part of the cast. And then we also talked, was that the one I think Onyx said that you wasn't really that excited for the girls that's supposed to be that season? He's like, these queens are not giving what needs to be given. But I'm looking forward to them doing that versus the world-esque type show. I forget what it is with the all Asian queens. I'm never looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring with that. That might be a good one. So we'll see y'all. All right, y'all. So we're at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please do me a solid, hit that like button, that subscribe, but also be sure to smash the notification bell if you have not already, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode, more tea to spill, a lot of dramatics, a lot of mess, because you know that's how we do over here on this show. I was like, yeah, so it's the weekend. I got to give you all a show, because I ain't give y'all one in like 3 days. So had to come on today and give it to y'all. So love you all for watching. Wait, where's a good gay resort in NYC? Fire Island? Because we don't have no gay resorts in New York. We had the Out, New York City, where I always bring this up. And so it was like, yeah, at the Out New York City, we had XL in there. We had 2 XLs. We had one that they actually shot Sex in the City at. I remember going to that one eons ago. And then we had the Out New York City was like a gay hotel. It's not around anymore. I think, or they sold it. Can't remember. And they had a splash in there. And that was like literally before RuPaul's Drag Race took off. That's where I actually started doing my interviews. I don't know. They're out there somewhere on YouTube. I wish I would remember where all that stuff was. Because I interviewed Jinx. I interviewed a lot of the girls for that season. You know, the season that Jinx Monsoon won. And they had like, it was literally, I could count on, it's funny how Drag Race has grown and changed so much. I could literally count on one hand how much of us that were media that were doing Drag Race interviews, and I was one of them. And it was like literally on one hand how many. And then we had the V8, what was it, the logo crew and stuff up in there. So now it's like this big production. Now it's this big thing. But before, Drag Race was just like, it was a handful of us that was out there doing the Drag Race interviews and all the other stuff. Those were the days. But yeah, so once again, love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, ciao, darlings.